A shitty horror musical that's 30% horror movie, 70% terrible music, and features an obvious yet somehow still confusing ending. We watched Don't Go in the Woods. We watched it so you don't have to, so you know what time it is.
Horror, so bad it's scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad it's scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
What's up, Moongoons? Welcome to the Horrible Horror Podcast, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies so bad they're scary. I'm your host, Mr. Marshall Hampton. Joining me today for this episode, this is why we fucking watch this movie episode, is my co-host, as always, Mr. Aaron Southworth. Aaron, welcome back. Welcome back. You're always here.
Yeah, I'm here most of the time. Yeah,
Most of the time.
But you definitely hit the nail on the head. We watched the worst of the worst. Yeah.
And
But
this one caught me off guard.
And this one's so bad we had to bring in a ringer.
Well, we did, because not only is it a terrible horror movie, it's also a musical. So you know what that means? That means we went back and brought in the first lady of horrible horror. Miss Sarah Samples is back on the show, everybody. Sarah, well, welcome back.
Guys, it's been a long time.
It has.
It's been a very long time.
It's been a very long time. This is the first time, I think, since the outbreak that we've had a guest in studio.
In studio, yeah.
Wow.
We've done the Zoom stuff, but in studio.
Yeah, we did a Zoom.
For
and
200
then
episode. And Anniversary Apocalypse, another musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A great
a
musical.
good musical,
that was a good
actually.
one.
An
That
actual
moved the story
musical.
along.
Actual musical, yes.
It really did. That was not bad. But I haven't been in studio in over 2 years.
It's great to see you.
Jesus.
2
Yeah.
years. It's
2
so good to
years?
see you all.
That can't be two. Maybe a year?
I don't know.
2 years?
I don't know. The pandemic took a year of my life away.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly.
Yeah, probably 2 years. Probably about 2 years. You know, knocking on the door of 2 years.
Yeah, it's
It's
gonna
good to
drive me
be
nuts.
back.
Now I gotta figure out go back and figure out where your last.
Well, we'll do that off air.
I know we
because
will.
I'm sure people don't want to.
Yeah, I know. I'm not doing
History,
it
my history. Anyway, it's
listen,
good to be...
listen to us do math.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm in the arts.
Yeah.
This is why you have me here for musicals, guys. You don't have me here for
now. I'm in the arts. I avoided math
trigonometry.
just because of that. I'm in the arts to avoid math. So this week's movie is Don't Go in the Woods from 2010, not the 1981 one. Before we get to that, first I want to give a big shout out to our newest Patreon Moongoon, Mr. Lyle Francis. So thank you so much for doing that and supporting the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So the movie now, Don't Go in the Woods, like I said, it's 2010. You can find this one on Amazon, Tubi, something called Crackle, which I've heard of. I've never used it, and Vudu. Written by Mr. Sam Bisbee, John Vinciguerra,
That's right.
and fucking Private Pio Kingpin himself, Mr. Vincent D'Onofrio, wrote this. He also directed this.
Yeah.
And that one of the things that caught my eye about this movie. One is it's a musical, and two, fucking Vincent D'Onofrio wrote and directed this thing. I'm like,
Right.
It's gotta be check it out because of that.
This is his directing debut, I think, too.
At least-
Like, this was his...
At least full
Like,
feature. I
yeah,
don't know.
full
he,
feature
he may have
debut.
directed like an episode of like his Law and Order show that he was on at one point or something else,
dun.
but he was on Criminal Intent.
But yeah, this
yeah.
is officially his. You're right, Sarah. This is his first official feature film directorial debut, and you know, I kind of been thinking a little bit more about the indies that we do, and sometimes I feel bad about going hard in the paint on some of the indies. But this is a fucking movie star.
Yeah.
This is Vincent
Fucking
I
D'Onofrio.
don't-
D'Onofrio.
how do you
This
say
is the
it?
Kingpin.
Yeah.
This is
D'Onofrio.
Private Pile. We can attack this movie now.
Yeah.
Full fucking teeth here.
I could go hard in the paint. on
Yes.
the indies. I love that. That's a great note. I like that.
Yeah, because I always feel bad about like
Yeah, I do at times
if we
too.
dog an indie, it's like, God damn it, I feel like an asshole sometimes. You know, it's because they're putting their heart and soul out, and yeah, it sucks, but it's like, do we have to rub their nose in it? This motherfucker can take it.
So the cast, there's only like I think 3 people maybe we're going to talk about, and that's a stretch of the term. First, we have the record executives played by Eric Bogosian, or Bogosian. I don't know how his last name is.
What was that last one? Bulgosian?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's his name.
Bogosian, Bogosian. So do with that what you will. He's got 61 credits. He's probably a somewhat familiar face. He's been on like just billions of TV shows. He's been on The Good Wife. He played Danny Ross on Law & Order: Criminal Intent with Vincent D'Onofrio, and I think he was the police chief in that series, or captain or something. He was in Charlie's Angels: Full Throttle. That was the remake with Drew Barrymore,
Cameron Diaz,
Cameron
and Lucy
Diaz,
Liu,
thank you,
yeah.
and Lucy Liu. Under Siege 2 with Mr. Steven Seagal. Here's one I found interesting. He did various voices in Beavis and Butthead Do America. Remember that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I worked at the.
For those of you who grew up in the 90s.
I worked at the
That was
Ritz
a great-
Theater,
that's a great
and that
movie.
one came out, and I remember watching that one like. I have like seen so many movies from the mid 90s, but it's always like the end of
The
it.
end of
Yeah.
yeah.
Or the last 30 minutes or 40 minutes. Like Batman and Robin, actually that one was such a long movie. All the other movies let out, and so that one I only missed like the first 15 minutes, and I just like sit in the theater and watch the rest of the movie. I must have seen the movie 30 times. Wow. Which is a bad thing.
I
One thing
gonna
is, I
say,
saw
that's-
Batman and Robin at your theater too. I went
Oh.
there after a hockey game. I was like, I'm going to hang out with Aaron. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go on in and watch the movie. Like, all right. So I watched Batman and Robin. Like, and that was my first experience.
Our
with that
friend
terrible
Ty
shit.
changed the marquee to Ratman and Bobbin. And he got banned from the theater by our manager. Of course, that ban lasted a whole week. He was right back again.
And then he was also in Blade Trinity. And
Blade.
here's the one. Brings it back to our show. Apparently, he was store clerk in The Stuff way back in the day.
I remember Store Clerk.
You remember Store Clerk? Who doesn't remember
Right?
Store Clerk?
Stole the
great
show.
Character. What a great character.
Then we have Ashley. He's played by Cassandra Lee Walker. The only thing worth mentioning here is that she's done really nothing worth mentioning except that she was in one episode of Law & Order: Criminal Intent with Vincent D'Onofrio.
Dun,
So I'm
dun.
guessing that's where that link came in. And then lastly, we have quote-unquote agent. That's always an agent played by Bo Bodie. He's only got 2 credits as an actor, but he's made his career as a composer for TV and film. He's done such shows that he was responsible for the composing and music in Netflix's Glow series, which is about
Oh.
the female wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wrestling show that had no wrestling.
Yeah.
You wonder why it got canceled.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you guys watch that at all?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
loved the first season, fantastic. Second season, okay. Third season, I'm like,
I-
where's the wrestling?
I
There's no
started-
wrestling.
I started the 3rd season, and then I got like 2-3 episodes in, and I got sidetracked. And I haven't
All
gone back to
it
it.
is
That was
just,
it.
God damn it. I know I'm going to get hammered for this, but I just want to say it. It just seems like so many shows these days are just shoehorning in gay storylines. It just, and they did the same thing with Glow. You know, it's like, and this, you can look at the history of Glow. It's a real thing that happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're just like, and now this character's gay. It's like, no, they weren't. They weren't. You're just doing it to, have a PC woke moment, which is fine. But when it's historically inaccurate, what are we doing?
Yeah,
You're just
exactly.
making, it's like, God damn it.
He also did Hot Wet American Summer 10 years later and Hot Wet American Summer First Day of Camp.
Oh,
He
come
did
on
the
now.
HBO, I think it was HBO show series Hung. He's the music for Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, Fresh Off the Boat, and this movie, and then a bunch of other stuff. But those are some of the bigger name things that people might recognize that he's been responsible for the music for.
But we don't see his face really in this whole movie, right?
He's Carson, right?
Yeah, he's
Okay,
Carson.
yeah. We see like
You
his
see his face a
profile.
little bit,
For,
yeah.
for- in
A
profile.
hot
Yeah.
minute,
For
yeah.
a second.
Guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
So-
motherfuckers. I think that's his line, and that's it.
All right, so now before we get into the movie, before we start recording, we had a little conversation about this.
We had a
because-
shit fest. Like we almost quit the podcast.
Because this is a
True.
musical. There is a shit ton of songs and music in this movie.
More than is acceptable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
Just gonna say
So, and most of it, like 99.9% of it, is all bad. So instead of playing each and every song like we did for like Anna and the Apocalypse or Rocktober Blood, I might play one or two clips of some of the more important parts, but overall each song I'm probably going to skip over. We might talk about it briefly, but I'm not going to play it. But if you want to hear the music, I am going to attach all the audio files I captured, all the songs, at the very end of the episode. So once we get to watch more horror movies, keep it tight, and sign off. If you want to hear the music, it'll be plugged at the end after that sign off at the end of the episode. So if you really want to go back and hear what this music sounds like and see how bad it is or judge for yourself, that's where you can hear it all. Otherwise, we're just going to kind of skip over it or maybe do something else.
So if you're an albino monk assassin who wants to self-flog like a Dan Brown novel, listen to the end of it. Then instead of flogging yourself, listen to the end. It'll probably be more painful to listen to the end and have all those songs at once than to self-flagellate yourself. Yeah.
Or if you're a big fan of Nickelback or other really crappy indie type early 2000s bands who all sounded the same. If you're a big fan of that, or like Creed.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
shitty
I do
emo.
like some Creed. I don't want to.
This will right up your alley.
Yeah, if you're an emo,
like a crunchy emo.
This is the playlist.
Not like a hipster wearing
No.
eyeliner, dyeing your hair pink emo person. No, like you wear dirty flannel shirts from the thrift store, crunchy emo style. Yeah,
we just stereotyped a lot of people, but I don't.
Fuck it.
It's terrible, you guys.
We're putting everyone in a box.
Everybody's in a box with this label.
Don't
label
put me
those
in a box,
boxes. I want
Marshall.
to keep them neatly on my shelf. So
We got to keep everything nice and neat, okay?
Don't put me in a box, Marshall.
Don't get messy.
Woo-woo.
All right, so with that explained, here we go. Here's where we're going to go. We're starting with the movie. So we open with the credits, after which we see a blood-covered blonde girl staggering and limping through a forest. She gets grabbed from behind by a man in black. We cut to the title card where we hear her scream, accompanied by the sounds of being stabbed. And then we cut back to the girl who's now laying face down with copious amounts of blood just pouring out of her. And then we just cut to a close-up of Nick, who is our main character, his eyes, while we hear some pretentious, artsy voiceover about Eye of the Storm. And I don't even know what to... I didn't write this. It's so pretentious and like whiny, arty shit that it's like, what? I'm just moving on.
It's poetic.
It's they don't see, but they will when the storm comes and holds their soul.
It's not the eye of the storm, but the storm in the eye, or something like some weird shit like that.
Their feet touch the sand and it squishes through. Ew, it feels grody. But that goes on too long, and it's just a close-up of his eyes, and I'm like, right off the bat, I was like, okay, we started with something kind of interesting. The girl walking, copious blood's okay, and then all of a sudden we get this. I'm like, oh no, what is that? I'm like, I don't know how to feel.
This is like his first bulgy eye shot too.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first time we
First
get to
of
see
many.
the Elijah Wood bulgy eye look. Number one.
So after that, we
We
meet.
should have a bulgy eye count.
Now we meet our main group of guys. We have Johnny, the Asian guy, Carlo, Anton, Robbie, and we already have Nick. They're all bandmates. They're driving in a van down this heavy forested road on their way to go camping for the weekend. Johnny is the drummer. Carlo plays guitar. Robbie plays bass and is blind. He's the blind guy.
Yes.
Anton plays the keyboard and some weird little air-powered keyboard that he has to blow into.
That's the melodica.
Thank you. I could not think of the name.
Or you could call it a harmonica board. And do you know who owns one of those? Me, baby. And when I first and I can play it. And when I first saw this, I was like, "Oh, I'm totally bringing that," and I'm playing the harmonica board. But then I have feelings about this movie, and so I chose not to bring it.
Man, I
wish you would have brought that. You know what? We're
board.
stopping right now. Sarah's gonna run home and get her
harmonica board.
Melodica.
Melodica or
and then we'll be
harmonica
back
board.
and she'll play it for us. So we'll be back in just a moment. I wish I could have.
I know.
Dang it.
Amazing.
So the only time I've ever seen that before is one band called Hard-Fi, and they had they were a one-hit wonder band in the early 90s or early 2000s, like at the same time that Bravery was around. But and I saw them at Mississippi Nights Rest in peace.
Oh, rest in peace.
But yeah, he was a singer. And
The only time I ever saw one of those was an episode of Bob's Burgers, where this kid,
I love Bob's Burgers.
where this hipster kid who delivered like sandwiches on his moped had one, and Tina was in love with him. I always wanted to play
wild.
it.
Jonathan Batiste plays one all the time, and then a lot of other musicians, like local musicians who are pianists, they put him in their music.
So wish you would have brought it.
Dang it, I'm sorry. I can play like Happy Birthday and Eye of the Tiger.
Such two. I only know two songs. Happy Birthday and Eye of the Tiger.
They're both pretty easy.
That's amazing.
Man, we can't wait to talk about this movie, can we?
I know we're talking about everything else.
So anyway, then Nick is the frontman singer, and he looks like he also plays some guitar as well, but he's fucking emo as shit. He looks like he should be in like the My Chemical Romance or the Used, if you know what those bands are, because he just screams.
I got more hipster.
Fucking emo.
I got hipster.
Hipster, dude.
Yeah,
he wears all black. He's got that black as night, dyed.
Oh,
black
that guy.
hair.
Yeah. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
My bad. I just thought the rest of the. I'm thinking of the lead singer. Never mind.
Yeah, that's Nick. Nick's the fucking emo guy with black hair who wears all black. So
skinny jeans.
Anyway, they're using this camping trip. Nick hopes that will inspire the group to write great music for their new album. While they drive, they all start singing along to this shitty country Christian song about being in love with a man. And the whole joke is that it turns out to be Jesus. And they all are singing and playing along. And
I kind of liked it. That's like the one part of the show, like movie, I actually kind of like. It's like, oh Jesus, you got me.
He's like, I'm in love with a man,
and I don't care who knows.
He's got big blue eyes and a big old beard,
beautiful hair.
And
that
the funny
beard
thing
is
is,
Jesus.
He loves you just as much as he loves me. His name is Jesus.
Yes.
And
I actually liked it. I was like, that's okay. Right on.
Here's a fun fact: the person who wrote and sung that song is Kingpin himself, Mr. Vincent D'Onofrio.
No shit.
Was the one singing that song on the radio.
I tried to find out some trivia about that song because I was like, this is weird and intriguing. Why would they put this song right here and have these guys singing along to this? Like,
it's
what is
weird,
the
it's like it's one of those songs like they like this song ironically or something like that. So,
but I actually kind of thought it was fun.
It's pretty
I
funny.
thought it was
Yeah.
funny.
when you hear
you know?
the music they play and sing later, it's nothing
Totally
like
different.
what they would be into or do.
Well, maybe Vincent should just stick with
Right?
songwriting.
Right.
And like, maybe he could be like the next Steve Martin and like just get into a little banjo.
God, that's a great reference, but I imagine no one gets that.
Oh, come on.
So Nick is all about staying focused on his music with no distractions. So he's like, no booze, no girls, no drug, nothing this weekend. And he ends up basically throws Johnny's bag of weed out the window as they drive down the highway.
Oh,
just
man.
boop, there it goes. And there was
Yeah.
a lot of weed in that bag.
Yeah, he's just like, hey man, it's not gonna be a total waste this weekend because we're gonna be alone in the woods. I got weed, and he's like, let me see that weed, man. Yeah, throws out the window.
Out the window.
And I'm thinking, okay, I'd be like, stop, truck, stop, let me out.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm out.
I'll hitchhike back. I'm done.
And that's just one of many
Many.
moments where I'd be like, I'm out.
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
we need a bulge eye counter, we need a time where I'd be like,
I'm
out.
The I'm
It's
out
over.
counter. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I thought the same thing. So they finally arrive at this forest. They park their van, load up all their camping gear and instruments, and then start their hike up into the woods.
And I thought to myself, this is going to make Marshall happy because they're actually showing the crew hike in their stuff.
Yes.
Like, and they're weighed down. They got coolers, they got
Tents and
equipment,
sleeping bags.
they're just, it's proper hiking gear. And I'm like, I bet Marshall's going, thank you, finally. Because every horror movie ever, like where they're going camping, they're like in a tiny car, and they just all of a sudden show up at camp, and it's a full camp, and Marshall loses his shit every time.
I remember that. I know that about you.
Yeah, no, Aaron's correct. I was like, okay, at least they're actually hauling equipment up. But I'm like, instruments? Like, they're hauling up not just like, you see them haul, like some people have a sleeping bag, some people have a backpack, and then you see people hauling like drum sets and keyboards and amps and guitar. I'm like, what?
And an electric bass.
I have a comment on that one
Yeah,
later.
so do I. Foreshadowing.
They also mentioned that their now very recent ex-manager is probably going to be trying to come find them and join them, even though apparently Nick just fired their manager Carson because like he's not coming. I don't want him coming, but I fire him. But he's probably gonna come anyway because he can't get the hint that we fired him.
So Nick is making a lot of decisions for the band without consulting.
Yeah,
them.
he is kind of a tyrant.
He's like, we're gonna go and we're gonna, I'm throwing your weed out the window. Oh yeah, by the way, I fired the agent who's gonna get us a record deal, and I'm running the show here. And
he's your stereotypical front man. It's all
tyrant,
about me. I'm the singer.
Tyrant is a great way of putting it.
What I say goes. Again, here Nick lays down the hammer about not wanting any distractions. He takes everyone's phone, all their cell phones, and any booze they have with them, and tells them no women are coming either tonight. It's just about the music.
Captain Buzzkill.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then as
that's not number 2. I'm out.
As they move on, they do pass a sign that's fine that says "Don't go in the woods."
They're like,
kind of creepy.
That'd be a cool album name. Yeah.
That'd be a cool album cover.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the thing. They were gonna take a picture with their cell phone, and then he was like, "Oh, dude, give me the phone. No phones." And they're like, "What? Are you serious?" Like,
yeah. That's what I'm doing.
No, sorry.
I'm out. Eventually, they reach their camping spot and they start setting up their camp and all their gear. We cut to their ex-manager, Carson. He's lost in the woods with all of his camping gear. He's a big old hiking backpack on. He's trying to find them while at the same time trying to call them on his BlackBerry, but he's not getting any signal. And
BlackBerry.
I was going to say, Blackberries. Yeah, there's a lot of flip phonage in this.
I actually looked up cell phones of 2010, and the iPhone 4 just came out.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, there are smartphones, but I remember rocking I think it was called a Samsung Rugby, which was a flip phone that was like construction worthy. It's like you could throw it against the wall, put it in a glass of water. It was like indestructible.
Sweet.
Yeah, that was my phone, but everyone else had an iPhone. I'm like, that looks pretty cool.
Everybody on this trip should have had one of those phones.
Marshall's still rocking that iPhone 4.
Hey, it's not a phone. It is a special edition, by the way. It's the SE.
Ooh. I had that phone. That was my first smartphone, but I didn't get it until like 2011.
My first smartphone was the Evo or something like that.
Is that phone 10 years old?
Galaxy Evo
How old
or
is
something
that
like
phone?
that. I don't know how old that one is. But I remember before that, like 2010, like I had like I remember like the slider. It wasn't a flip phone. It was like the
Sidekick.
No, it wasn't a Sidekick.
But a Sidekick S.
Yeah. It was like about the same size as that phone, and you had one part that slid up, and there was a keyboard underneath.
I had one of those.
Slider.
Yep.
I love that. Was actually a really great phone. I like that one.
I'm going to confiscate.
Again, want to talk about other things.
Talk about something else.
Guys, I'm going to confiscate your phones because we cannot focus.
We cannot focus.
Focus.
Nick would be shitting himself right now.
Bulgy, look at you. I'm looking at you. Over my
at this point, Nick and Carlo go off to gather firewood. They find an old hunting shack, which Nick tells Carlo, like, hey, this area is littered with them. They're all over the place. Inside, they find an axe, which they use to start chopping firewood. After chopping up some wood, Nick then takes out a cell phone and chops a cell phone in half with an axe. And I'm like, whoa, wait, what the shit, man? Because this is my I'm out moment, too. Because if someone took out my cell phone, put it on a chopping block, and chopped it in half or sort of the fucking axe, I'm like, I'm done. I'm out. That's it. And I'm probably punching that person in the face for destroying my phone because they ain't cheap.
I would have punched him for throwing my weed out of the window.
Right. That shit ain't cheap either.
So on top of that, but Carlo at first Carlo's like, what the fuck, man? And he's like, yeah, I said no phones, and he's like, oh, okay. So he dumps the rest of the phones down, and Carlo then takes the axe and just obliterates all the rest of the phones. And now he's on some kind of like psychopath high because he's not done with just destroying the phones. For some idiotic, retarded reason, he takes off his fucking Chuck Taylor, puts it on, and chops his shoe to pieces with an axe for no reason whatsoever. He just cuts his shoe apart and destroys it.
And he's like, why'd you do that? He's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, how are you going to get back?
Oh.
I don't know.
Why'd you write that into the movie?
I don't know.
Who cares?
So, goddamn. So we go back to Anton, who goes off to take a piss, and the whole point of this is as he walks back to the campsite, we see a man in camouflage holding a hunting rifle, squatting down and leaning up against a tree that Anton walks by. Dover sees him. That's it.
Statuesque.
Yes.
Just, very statuesque.
It just looks like he's posing. I'm like, oh, wait, is he supposed to be scary? Or just like an actual hunter who's just trying to keep himself still so that he can get a pheasant.
Yeah,
you know?
that's like I thought the same thing. Like, well, that's okay, because he's not looking at you. He's not like watching it. He's like,
No, he's not
He
watching him.
He just like squat up against a tree, holding his rifle, like
Staying very still.
He's like, I'm trying to hunt some rabbit or something.
Right.
Elmer fudding it or something.
Although if I was a hunter and some guy's smashing cell phones, I'd be like, shut up, god damn it.
Well,
You're
granted,
ruining
that was
my
two different areas. So the hunters didn't know about the show. That was somewhere else.
I'm confused by the hunter.
Yeah, I was very confused by the hunter. At this point, Carson finds this odd, yet kind of cool looking teepee structure that's made from like long, skinny trees that are just kind of all bunched up and bound together. And it begins to rain at this point, and rain begins to fall. Carson decides to take a peek inside. As he's squatting down, the camera shifts behind him and just goes like this, like quickly, like the camera just runs up real quick behind Carlo and then it just cuts to black. So it's what? Okay.
And you hear like this weird feedback sound, like wee,
Yeah.
And I was like, is every death gonna have like feedback accompanying?
And was it a death? I mean,
yeah,
well, yeah,
we
don't really know.
It's just
we
like
don't know
the
what
camera just
happened to
rushes them and it cuts to black. The only point, but I guess whatever that structure was, it was kind of cool looking. This like wooden tree teepee thing, kind of cool.
Well, I don't know if you mentioned, but who's the Eric? No,
Eric.
Yeah, Eric. Yeah, who's the lead singer guy?
Nick.
Sorry, see, I don't even know. They're that disposable. Nick. He mentioned that he and his brother used to come out in the woods all the time.
Yeah, I skipped over that part for here.
That's how he knew about it because me and my brother, we used to come out here and play wiffle ball. Like
in the middle of the woods.
Forest. There's nowhere to run. There's no bait. Like who plays? Yeah, in the middle of this heavily wooded, dense forest. Yeah, we came out and play wiffle ball, man.
Obviously, he's not an athlete.
Hello, wiffle ball. When's the last time you guys were out here? I don't know. We were like 8 or 9. Like,
what are you, 30?
Yeah, like they were not 30.
I think they're supposed to be college.
I think they're
20s,
supposed to be,
early
yeah.
20s, yeah.
So at that point, we go back to the campsite where, keep in mind, we just saw Carson at the teepee tree. Rain's coming down. We go back to the campsite. No fucking rain whatsoever. Blind Robbie keeps messing with others at this point. It's happened several times, right? But he's like, "Hey, did you guys hear that?" And he keeps freaking people, like saying he hears something, but there's nothing there because he's blind, so he hears things better.
So he has fucking supersonic hearing.
He's like fucking Daredevil or something. Just
right?
And that's the whole thing. Like, he does that several times. You hear something? I just gotcha. Carlo.
Nothing.
We go to Carl. He steps on this large piece of broken glass on his way back to camp, which cuts into his foot because, of course, why not? Because he doesn't have a shoe on. And then we cut to some. Here we go. We cut to this shitty song and montage of the band setting up their tents and instruments. Night falls. The band sits around playing and singing this like really shitty song that kicks off the montage. After the song, I'm trying to remember if this is in my notes where this is.
I'm looking back and forth, and Marshall and Sarah have pages and pages of notes.
I don't even know why. I don't even.
What? I'm sitting here just going. I think I'm gonna make myself another drink. You guys look at your notes. I'm gonna get drunk.
Sweet.
So now we cue some shitty song and a montage of the band setting up their tents and instruments. This song is basically done by Blind Robbie. I didn't record because it's really short and doesn't really matter. But basically, night falls at this point. The band sits around playing and singing same shitty song that kicked off the montage. After that song finally ends, Nick sits around, tells them the story or the legend of the Wendigo, which I'm not going to go into that. It's just story about cannibals and how you eat somebody, you become a Wendigo.
Google it.
Basically, if you ever play the game, if you ever play the PlayStation game Until Dawn, that horror game, it's an awesome game. I highly recommend playing it if you haven't. It's basically the same thing, same as the Wendigo. Spoilers. Sorry, the game's like.
I just know the Wendigo from Marvel.
The Marvel Comics Wendigo. Yeah, that one's different Wendigo, but yeah.
He's a villain that you have to fight in the X-Men video game.
Yes, he is in the X-Men arcade game.
Yeah, yes.
The big white monster Wendigo. Yeah. And that's right before Magneto comes. I think it says "Welcome to Die."
Welcome to die.
Can
we talk about that?
Yeah,
I'd rather talk about that.
That game's awesome. Anyway, shortly after the story, Robbie again says, "Hey, I hear something in the woods." Only this time he's right, as several lights start popping up, and we see 4, 5, 6 people wearing those creepy, like, clear plastic Halloween masks approaching the camp. Like, just the ones that make you look like an old person, or you see them. They're just clear plastic, transparent. Yeah.
Sweet Alice. There was they were using Sweet Alice. Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you. I've never actually knew the term for that thing. But it turns out it's just the guys' girlfriends / fuck buddies / groupies trying to scare them.
I was so disappointed because, like, that was a scene that they showed in the trailer.
Yeah.
If they wouldn't have put that in the trailer, it actually would have been maybe a suspenseful moment, because it really was, like, the way they shot it was like, oh, cool, the lighting.
Yeah.
But I watched the trailer, so I was like, oh, it's just the chicks that show up to party.
Yeah.
Party.
So, of course, Nick isn't fucking happy about this.
Have his little bitch fit.
He's having a bitch fit because the girls brought with booze. And
they brought the fun.
They brought the fun.
The girls brought the fun. They brought, they're down to party. They got booze. They got drinks. They want to sing. They want to have a good time. And Nick is.
But Nick's all fucking emo.
Butthurt about it.
But because he's fucking emo, here's Nick's song. This isn't from the music.
Oh.
This is just Nick's theme song. I just want to throw this in for flavor.
This sounds better than the song, ladies.
I wish this was in the song or in the movie.
This would be good to listen to.
Who is this?
This is a band an indie band I discovered years ago when I was going to shows at like the old Creepy Crawl and stuff like that. It's got a band called Patent Pending.
Nice.
And I enjoy it. So is this an emo song? It's kind of Nick's theme song, so I throw that in.
That's funny.
Anyway, at this point, Johnny he pulls out the bong. He starts playing the bongos.
Well, the bongos come out immediately.
Yeah, immediately.
The ladies love the bongos.
And Nick, he's all mopey and shitty. He starts wandering off from camp with his guitar. He starts playing and singing some song about how he's an ice age and he's frozen. And holy fuck is Nick goddamn whiny. So here is the first actual song from the movie that I actually recorded of Nick singing this. I just call it Ice Age song. But here's your actual song, the first real sense of how this is going.
Bulgy Eyes number 2.
Yeah.
So here he is. He's wandering away from the campsite and everybody else singing.
On the verge of an ice age, I am frozen, but still twitching.
Oh yeah! And after this part, when we start singing, it sounds like he's just getting a hand job.
Oh my god. Yes.
It's coming up. It just like makes these weird grunty noises. Here you go.
Marshall knows the time.
That's it. So that's where
It sounds like he's getting a rough 5-knuckle shuffle.
Yeah.
He's like, should it stop? Should it keep going? Should it... This kind of feels good, but it kind of hurts.
Is this supposed to show like his descent into like some craziness?
Well, this
What
is
is it?
At this point, I'm starting to realize, what the fuck was that song? Did it move? Is this supposed to be musical? Because it didn't move the story
Thank you.
forward.
That's exactly what my next block of notes is about.
It doesn't. It's not doing anything for the story. I'm like, we just had like a mini music video
Right.
Yeah.
That's
section,
it.
and it
was
didn't have
awful.
anything to do with the girls coming. Like that song you played about him being an emo bummer is more accurate
Yes.
for moving the story forward than this actual song
That's
in
why
a
I put it
musical sense.
Yes. And
Exactly.
we all have that same note. I wrote the exact same thing. Because unlike And the Apocalypse, which had like 12 13 songs
Oh my
first
gosh,
throughout the whole thing.
And most of them are bangers.
Yeah.
They are bangers,
Yeah.
but they're all good. Especially the fish rap.
I was
Every-
just gonna say
that might be the one song that doesn't advance, but all the other
I just
songs
sing it.
are pertinent to what's going on at that time in the movie,
Yeah.
or they advance the story, they advance character development, they advance the plot. They're integrated into the story. Every song in this movie just kills the flow of what happens, and just like, here's a random song that really has no meaning on the plot, the story. It doesn't advance anything at all. And on top of that, almost every single person in the cast has some form of song or solo.
Yes.
And like 90% of them are terrible, in my opinion. They're not very good singers.
Well,
At least
they're trying to write, Marshall. They're like aspiring artists. They have to you just gotta put yourself out there. Sometimes you just have to light a fire and pray to the songwriting gods.
yes,
Marshall.
that's a legit quote later in this movie.
I was like, wait a minute. That sounds familiar.
I'm feeling inspired.
So
Let's make a record deal.
Nick is back, in his tent, being all fucking emo again. So, and he's moping because the girls crash his creative safe space, if you will.
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
His girlfriend, his girl Ashley joins him in the tent and tries to cheer him up, but again, he's pretty much just, like,
Being an
fuck
asshole.
off,
Yeah.
I don't want you here. So again,
Yeah.
and he just takes his guitar and leaves.
She's like, how you doing, honey?
Yeah.
What you doing in here? Like, her voice to me is so annoying too.
It
Like,
is.
I'm all for her because, she's obviously in an abusive relationship
Yeah.
and no one's told her, but like, she needs to back off.
She's again, it's that college girl. Like I'm attached to the lead singer of this band. I'm just so in love with him that she's blind to all of his faults and how bad everything is. And
Nobody
just-
She needs that
understands
Whoopi
him.
Goldberg moment in Ghost when it's like, listen, you in danger, girl.
You- Get out of these woods.
Right.
So everyone else sits around the fire, drinking, laughing, having a good time. Some of the other girls are Melinda, the tall brunette, and then Melinda's French exchange student, quote unquote, friend, who can't speak English. There's a short-haired Asian girl whose name I believe is Georgie. And then there's
she's around
like,
for 2 seconds. Yeah.
and then there's like 3 blondes whose names I don't think we ever get, or nor does it matter.
No, thank you, Rock. It doesn't matter.
And then there's the slightly chubbier cheek girl with curly hair. And that's all you really need to know. That's basically the rest of our
She's a
cast.
tall girl. She's a tall.
Melinda's
drink of
really
water.
tall.
You're
Yeah.
talking about the other one. He's talking about the redhead.
There's more brownish auburn.
Yeah.
I didn't call her redhead, but darker auburn brown.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. When they started playing music, I fast forwarded. And you know
Oh,
how
you
long this
missed a
movie
lot.
is? About 20 minutes.
You missed a lot.
So there's characters I may not even know about.
Yeah. So the band plays
There was
another.
a baby in it. Did you know? Did you see that baby? That was like some. No, I'm just joking.
The band starts playing another crappy song. This one's by Robbie, who leaves again, and it's all about a groupie. It's about, I just call it groupie. It's about the backstage groupie life or something like that. Again, we have to listen to this song in its entirety in the movie.
It's like a 4-minute long song.
It
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Again, this is one I'm not going to play here. If you want to listen, it'll be at the end of the episode. I'm skipping over it. As soon as that song's over, Georgie takes the guitar and she starts playing and singing now. So it's less than 2 seconds after one song ends, we get another one. Luckily, hers is fairly short. But all I'm saying is it slows down the movie so much. And seriously, from this point on, this very point here, to pretty much the end of the movie, it's just song after fucking song after fucking song. None of them, like we said earlier, have anything to do with the plot or move the story along. It's just, hey, let's just stop and have a song every 30 seconds to a minute after the previous one ends.
Do you remember me bitching about my neighbors, my hippie neighbors, and how they played music in the background, in the backyard during the pandemic?
Yes.
And we live in like St. Louis City proper, so you know they're right next door. There's no room between the houses. I mean, we're kind of on top of each other, and they're in the back with a full fucking upright bass, a banjo, a fucking fiddle. Goddamn, someone's playing spoons.
Wow.
I mean, and I went out there raging like the ultimate warrior, like shaking the fence, like stop playing, like freaking them all out. That's these people. But at least they have the common courtesy to go into the woods.
Yeah.
Did I not tell you about this? God. I look like the crazy old man because they're all in like their early 20s. And I got my gray fucking hair. I think I was literally wearing a bathrobe. I'm not kidding. And I was drunk. And I'm like, it's 1 a.m. morning on a Tuesday. My baby's trying to sleep. Just losing my shit. And then I see these fucks and I'm just like, I'm like cracking my knuckles like fucking ogre from Revenge of the Nerds is bursting through my seams. God.
Sorry, everybody. I did not.
I'll tell you all about it later. It's horrible.
Yeah.
As soon as Georgie finishes her song, the cute blonde girl in the blue shirt just gets up and decides she's leaving and storms off back to their car to go find a motel to stay in, and Georgie goes after her.
Well, that's because there was a lot of like eye banging going on at the fire between like one of the dudes. Yeah, Carlo and like
other
the
blonde
chick
girl.
with the nose ring.
The other-
Yeah, they're like eye banging each other.
And apparently,
Like,
blonde,
yeah.
I guess blonde and blue was Carlo's girlfriend or ex-girlfriend or recent ex, and he's eye banging this other blonde. So she's just like, I'm out of here, I'm leaving. And so as blonde girl and blue and Georgie head back through the woods, they sing the groupie song again. Only this time, blonde girl and blue, she starts singing her solo song about how Carlo makes her feel so small, and it's basically just changing the words from the groupie song to fit her attitude or whatever.
However, it's the only song that does move the story.
Or has something to do with what's happening.
Yes,
Yeah.
and she's like the only girl who can actually sing. Like, she has a pretty decent voice. So this is one I'm actually going to play so you can actually hear a good singer and kind of here's this
a good
bit.
singer.
Yeah.
Here's this bit.
Here's this bit.
Carlo always makes me feel so small. Stare at the phone and wait for him to call. Someday when I find Mr. Right,
This has something to do with the character.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll forget.
This is what a musical does. It sings what you would normally say.
Yes.
Like,
You'll never change.
Yeah. See, this is a musical part.
Yeah.
This is the actual.
only musical part in this whole movie.
Forget your name.
they're like trekking through the woods with lanterns.
Yeah. With
Gigantic.
gigantic lantern.
Scared of the dark,
I was like, oh, that's a Coleman. That's a good lantern.
especially when I'm looking for the car I parked.
I'm looking for the car I parked.
The slightest little sound can make me scream.
Yeah, this is the only song that's
Yeah.
musical because she's walking into the woods. She's talking about how she's scared. She's looking for a car. She's pissed off at Carlo.
Is there something in the woods? And now he's gonna make me scared.
But no one else does anything like this.
Never change.
And then this one.
Don't survive these woods. Will you still remember our names?
Will I survive these woods? Oh my god, it's playing it back to an actual horror movie that's supposed to be happening in this. But it's so that's the only instance of an actual kind of musical number in a music in this whole movie.
Yeah.
And the girl can actually sing. The rest of them are not great. So
I bet you anything these guys are actual. I'm sure they're actual musicians, and they're like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna play my son, man. Well, listen, Nick, or actor portraying Nick, we need to move the story forward. And dude's like, no way, dude. I'm only playing the songs I want to play. It's like, great.
You told me that I would get album.
Right.
That I would get some album exposure in this movie. Vincent.
Right?
Vincent. So the two of them make it back to the car. The blonde girl gets in the driving seat.
P.S. Where is this vehicle parked?
It's in the middle of
It's like in
fucking
the middle
nowhere.
of nowhere. Don't you think
field.
they would? Because they even say they're like, oh, we followed you all the way from Brooklyn. That's how we got
Yeah.
out here. Don't you think they would have parked
Next
near
to their
the
van? Yes,
No.
thank you.
They're in the middle of like
Just a grassy
clearing.
field, like a small grassy field. It's a great point.
Where is
Yes,
this
if they
vehicle?
followed them, they should be parked right next or behind the van that the guys came in. But nowhere to be seen is that van. So the blonde girl in blue gets in the driver's seat. And Jordy sticks her hand and says, hey, I got to go pee real quick. And she disappears into the darkness. So Blondie and Blue sitting there in the car waiting. And that's when the car gets attacked by some unseen assailant. Whatever it is seems to be up on the roof of the car, banging around, shaking the car. The girl's screaming. Suddenly all the noises stop. And all's quiet for a moment. And then, bam, crash! The windshield starts shattering and getting hit by something that we can't see. Blondie continues to scream out for help. And then we see this bloody, severed leg drop down the hood of the car. Blondie and Blue finally decide it's time to try to start the car. Because, now is when she finally decides to start it. But guess what? It don't fucking start. Because
Nope.
ding, ding,
Of course
ding.
not.
You know it's not.
You know our theme song.
Yeah, you know it. You love it. You know. And then, so she
Right,
starts...
right at this moment, this is when a Tubi commercial happened for me.
Yeah.
By the way, it was like
I
the
was gonna
leg hit the hood of
like,
the car,
plop.
bam, and then it was like, join AT&T today.
Yes, thank you. 'Cause, oh my God, it wasn't just me. 'Cause the ads on Tubi were at the most inopportune times. Like right when anything dramatic happened, ad. It was so bad.
So right. It's so funny. God damn it.
Stupid free streaming. Of course, I would have been pissed if I would have had to pay for
Right?
this.
That's the only saving grace is Tubi.
Fine, Tubi.
So, anyway, the car doesn't start, and she looks over as and she kind of looks over, and then the driver's side window just gets shattered, blackout. And I think this is where I got my ad, was right after this blackout.
Oh, see that.
And then that's it. And then we go ad, and then we go back to the camp, which made me like, I really want to. When they put in the ad, did they miss something? Was anything cut out? But
We don't know.
we don't know.
Yeah.
We just go back to the camp, and we see two shadowy figures walk by the camp as everyone else is sleeping in their tents. The next morning, Nick, still being an asshole, forces everyone awake by banging on pots and pans and spraying them with beer.
And that's when I'd be like, I'm out. Out number 4.
Yeah. No.
Uh,
But we did get a really great shot of the one Asian guy's like really horrible drawn on tattoos. That's the other thing. Everybody has not real tattoos. They made it a point to make these people look real hardcore by drawing tattoos onto their bodies. with
Sharpie
markers.
inspired.
who
Yes.
else had tattoos other than Johnny?
The other short-haired Asian chick. Remember?
Oh,
'Cause
George.
she's-
Yeah, her tattoo is
Georgie.
the worst.
Oh.
It was supposed to be her mom. There's one point when Anton was like, "Ooh, who's that on your arm? She's hot." And George's like, "That's my mom. I want to be just like her when I grow up." And she looks like she's on a fucking, might as well be on a stripper pole. It's just horrible to have this girl with giant tits and like a little cut off, like little t-shirt. It's like, yeah, I want to be just like her when I grow up.
Maybe mom made good. I
Maybe
don't
mom
know.
made good
Maybe
money.
mama
Who
was
knows?
good.
Just
You
put her
don't
through
know.
college.
Mom made that bank.
Right?
They're living in Brooklyn. It's not cheap.
So, yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
He sprayed the beer at
Yes.
everybody, and he's acting like an asshole.
Anton,
Again.
at this point, 'cause Nick's like, everything's gotta go. So Anton volunteers basically to take the girls back to their car, walking through the woods, getting back to their car. On the way back, the girls just get freaked out when they see a hunter's perch up in a tree. No hunter with a gun, nobody, just the perch, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's freaky, that's creepy." It's just a chair attached to a fucking tree, and they act like it's the scariest thing in the world.
It's that weird high horse moment of like city versus rural, you know, and it's like, you know, if you live out in the middle of nowhere, yeah, sometimes it's kind of hard to go to a grocery store. You know what's easy? Going out in the woods, sitting in a chair for a couple hours, killing Bambi, and then taking home some, 400 pounds of meat. Now you don't have to, you don't have to worry about, hunting again. It's definitely a weird, this city versus rural moment.
Well,
that
and
I'm trying to make something out of nothing, I guess.
Yeah, they're trying to make
that.
they're trying to make something out of nothing because the two shadowy figures that like peeped on them in their tents or whatever in the night were the hunters.
Yeah.
They kept showing, so they keep alluding to the fact that something's really crazy with these hunters. The hunters are watching you.
Right.
The thing is, the hunters didn't really peep on. They didn't walk up to the camp and like peek in their tent. Or,
They just looked over.
They just walked by, and that was it. That was the whole scene. So yeah, but they're really trying to hype this up, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They do flash to the bloody sledgehammer being dragged upon the ground at this point.
Yeah,
too.
there's
like
a
it's
quick
a weird
shot.
flash.
Yeah, a weird
But again,
flash
like,
of
that's
a sledgehammer.
it.
Yeah. Back at the camp, the rest of the guys sit around and talk about Carlos' fucked up foot. Nick, of course, just
foot
wants
is
them to play a song. Like, fuck your foot, play me a song now.
Dude, Nick, I feel, is the type, like, this is what you get when you've never been punched.
Oh man.
Or like, never been disciplined hard by your folks.
Yes.
Or really never been in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, there's no, like, actions have consequences, motherfucker. You know, like, if someone's treating me like that, I'm going to let them know either, like, by telling them and leaving, or physically by punching them. You know? Well,
He's like the kid who like grew up with like the rich mom and dad, but like
and never paid attention to him.
like he's so spoiled. Like they just bought him stuff to buy their love. But he's been bummed like I'm emo now and I'm dark but he's got like a fucking trust fund,
Right.
A fucking hedge fund, and
Yes.
like big ass mansion. He's just
Yes, and he's never
consequences.
just never had anyone actually, like, you know,
Yeah.
do anything like that. There's a great Simpsons episode about that where Homer gets mad and punches Mr. Burns, and the next thing you know, Mr. Burns is like doing things for himself and taking care of himself because he's starting to realize that actions have consequences.
Talk about that.
Love the Simpsons.
So another musical bit plays here. Luckily, it's not a full song, and so we can't skip over it. And it cuts back to the girls and Anton. On the way back, the girls and Anton bump into the pair of hunters as they walk back the road. Who the hunters just turn Anton into their little bitch. Like they,
Oh my God,
Anton just
yeah.
becomes a complete bitch at this point. But otherwise, really, nothing fucking happens in this scene. The hunters just get in their truck and leave.
One of the girls, like, they're just, the hunters are walking back with, like, some pheasants.
Yeah, pheasants.
And they're, like, they kind of look at each other like, yeah, okay, whatever. And the girl's like, oh, you have fun killing defenseless animals.
That's Melinda. Yeah, that's Melinda.
And then the hunters just stop and look at him, and they're just like, and then Anton's just looking down at his shoes.
This kid, he's like a
Cowering.
scared coward. Yes, he's just
And the
cowering
hunters
down.
just go, not yet.
Yep.
Not yet, sweetheart.
And then
Not
just-
yet, sweetheart.
Yeah.
And they just get in their truck and drive away, never to be seen again.
Right.
Well, they had to go home and eat all that pheasant, and so they probably got really sleepy to take a nap.
Well, they had pluck all the stars
They
out, cook
missed
it
the
up.
end of the movie. I just
All the tryptophan and the bird, yeah.
we missed our cue. Shit,
So, yeah.
I'm back.
That's the thing. They just make Anton a bitch and move on. Rain hits now as Anton and the girls get back to the van, which is weird because they said, I'm going to take the girls back to their car. But he doesn't go to the car. He takes them to their van.
To the van.
Which also now won't start.
Well, that's because the car, they think that
Oh,
blonde,
that's right.
blue hair,
Yeah,
Right.
blonde,
right.
blue haired, blonde, blue shirt,
Blonde
took
and
the
Blue
car.
and Georgie took the car to the motel.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
they're taking him to the van to take him to the hotel.
That's right.
motel.
Thank you. I stand correct on
Holiday
that.
Inn.
Before they head back to the camp, though, they all take a moment to look at the river there nearby. Like, oh, look, there's the river. And the camera pans down as they're on just like a little elevated area and looking down at the river. And then the camera pans down, and we see lying in some tall grass and weeds is a bloody severed arm, on which, and then we know that the arm belongs to Georgie because we see her shitty tattoo of her mother that we just talked about on the arm. So that's that scene.
She's never gonna reach her dreams now.
Nope.
Never gonna dance that pole.
That pole, not
Just like
no
Mom.
dancer.
Not without an arm. Although that's wrong. I shouldn't say that. That's wrong. That leaves out armless strippers. I'm not
I
trying
don't
to
know.
just.
I think if you enough pole dancing experience and
You can do a
finesse,
lot
you
with your
can-
legs.
You can climb up with
That's
one
what
arm
I'm
and
saying.
legs and then use your legs to spin
I'm
around.
not trying.
It can be
That was
done.
wrong of me. I'm not trying
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
I've seen me a stripper with 12 toes.
12
I've
toes.
seen me a stripper with one eye, but I've never seen a stripper with one leg. That's Planet Terror.
Planet Terror.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino's
One leg.
part. Yeah, when Rose McGowan
Chili.
We should talk about that.
That's a great movie.
I sure would like to watch that movie.
So we go back to the camp. Back at the camp, the guys start another fucking song.
Oh, and everyone
this
has
one
perfect hair.
is sung, yes, by Robbie, which I call I'm Glad I'm Blind, where he just sings, I'm glad I'm blind, I don't want to see, I'm glad I'm deaf, I don't want to hear, and blah, 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 blah.
If Nick was my friend, I'd be feeling that way too. Man,
Glad I don't see that fucking
I don't
emo
really wanna
face.
see this asshole.
Again, we have to sit through the entire song, which is like...
A 3-minute long song.
It's like at 3 minutes, yeah. And they just sit in a circle playing and singing. This shit gets old and boring real fucking fast.
Yep.
And this is where I had a point that we're going to talk about, because they really hammer home the point that Robbie is playing his electric bass. How the fuck is that working? Where's the power coming from in the middle of the forest? There's no power outlets. There's no generators. But he's playing an electric bass hooked up to an amplifier.
Mm-hmm.
How? Somebody explain that to me.
I
I'm
can't.
seriously asking someone to explain this to me.
Can't.
All right, there we go.
This would be a great episode of Law and Order Criminal.
Yeah,
Like,
yes, Vincent
look
D'Onofrio
for- the search
solve
for-
this mystery.
The search for electricity. Dun dun.
Oh, Jesus. So,
You sound like a prosecutor.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, there is an electric bass. How, I ask, is there power? Rest my case.
Lawyered.
lawyer. So another thing I find funny is that all these guys have come out here to write new music, but yet every song they play and sing, they all just know. There's no
Man.
quote unquote writing new lyrics down in a pad of paper, scratching them out with a new lyric. There's no, oh, let's try this, let's try that. They just automatically know these songs
Instantly.
And now maybe the person singing it, sure, it's their song, they're making up, but everybody else is playing along with them perfectly in sync. Just magically knows these brand new, never heard, never sung before songs.
It's the beauty of a musical. It's the beauty of the musical. Like the one guy comes up with the song and everyone
A quote
sings
unquote
along.
musical.
Yeah, quote unquote. But so I'm saying if that's the case, then there's no point in them coming out of the woods in the first place. If everybody has all these, because they came out to write songs,
Dude, that's a great
but
point.
they already know the songs.
Mm-hmm.
The songs they're already singing and playing them, so they've already know. Why are they here then?
That's a fantastic point. If they're all just like pulling these songs out of their ass, why are they taking
Yeah,
this?
why are they pulling these songs out their ass in the recording
Why is
studio?
this movie made?
Yes! Why?
Yeah, why didn't they just save the money and go to a recording studio
Yeah.
and like actually that? Yeah. That's what people do. You rent out recording studio time and you do this
Yeah.
Yeah.
studio time.
Where you have actual power to play your instruments. So, anyway, Anton and the girls make it back to camp, and to no surprise, seeing him there, fucking Nick is just pissed off and angry.
Oh, man.
And we've said it so many times, but I don't know why anybody would want to be around this guy.
I don't know.
Like you're in a band. This is what breaks bands up. I'm like, I'm done with you, man. Like, you're such a downer and such a control freak. Like,
Do you remember the Backlot Murders?
yes.
Then the opening scene of that movie with Corey Haim. The opening scene with that movie, they're in a bar and the lead singer is being an asshole.
Yes.
And they take him outside because he's causing trouble in a bar, and they hold him and beat his ass.
Yeah.
As they should.
Yeah.
That's what people would do.
Mm-hmm.
Or
They
should do.
Yeah.
They should beat him down with a log or something. Like, Nick, they're out in the middle of the woods. He can't do anything about it.
Or
Like,
just
beat
punch
this guy down.
And then in the movie, they punch him in the stomach a couple times and threw him on the ground. They're like,
Yeah.
hey, you're an asshole. Do that to him.
yes.
You know, that's what I would hope a normal, like, good person would do. I'm talking about a good person beating somebody up.
That's actually, I'm glad you
But
brought
they're
back
so
that
bad.
point.
You know, it need to happen.
That's a great point. I can't forget about the backlot murders in that scene, but they should do that. Nick needs to be bitch slapped around a bit. Anyway, so that's it. So now we just cut to Nick wandering around the woods alone with his guitar as we hear voiceover recite again more shitty poetry or something.
They'll know. They're gonna find out.
As we see
don't
like,
know.
flashes of some dark, shadowy figure dashing around the woods. At this point, Nick spots lots of fresh blood like sprayed across several plant leaves, but doesn't say or do anything about it.
Yeah, he's like, what is that about? He's like looking at the leaves, like
It looks beautiful. It
It's
reminds me
poetic, yeah.
poetic.
of when my childhood was dashed to pieces when they wouldn't buy me an Xbox.
Back at the camp, all the others sit around talking. They're talking about like John Fogerty and the Donner Party and the monkey from some Clint Eastwood movie.
Clyde.
Yes, thank you. There you go.
That was the one part I paid
That's like
attention
the one
to.
part Aaron knows. I was like, Clyde.
Like, what's the name of that monkey in that Clint Eastwood movie? I'm like, Clyde. I'm just yelling Clyde at the screen.
So back to Nick sitting against a tree, playing and singing about how he's on the verge of extinction and how he's broken, and links it back to that Ice Age song from before.
Oh, it's his theme.
Yeah, his theme song. I have it, but I'm not going to play it right now.
But this is what made me think to myself, what's the name of that movie that the monkey's in?
They said it in this.
Any which way but loose.
There you go.
Oh,
Boom! That's how much I'm caring more about the monkey than what's happening in this
the
goddamn
trivia.
movie.
The trivia.
Ashley at this point wanders up, and they sit down, they talk. They talk about his dead brother.
She brings it up. She's like, hey, is this where you used to come with your brother? Let's talk about your brother. And she was like, oh, but we don't have to if you don't want to. But I
So your
just brought
brother's
it
dead.
up. So
Your
your
brother's
brother
dead.
died?
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, so are we going to move this? Is this a plot point? Are we moving this story along? Are we connecting the dots here, please? No.
He kind of apologized for being an asshole, and he talks about his dreams of greatness, which is more than the band seems to want.
Just want to be great.
They end up making out for a moment, but
Make
then
out,
Nick
babe.
stops and says, I just can't do this. And he walks away because
gotta
it's
do
fucking
music.
emo.
You ain't seen 'em there, playing guitar at lunch. They're whining about their time. It's just a hunch that these kids, they don't have a care.
I'm trying to listen to this, but
Your life just ain't that bad, you know, so stop annoying me.
oh, yeah.
Just cheer up, emo kid. Life's not so bad.
Who's this?
Cheer up, emo kid. Why are you so sad? Cheer up, emo kid. Your life is just a fad. Cheer up, emo kid. Why are you so sad?
It's pretty fun.
All right, that version of Cheer Up Emo Kid is by a band called Band Geek Mafia off the album Trouble on the 54.
That was good. I like
That was fun.
Song.
That was
I like
very
that song.
kind of ska.
kinda ska,
Kinda
yeah,
ska,
that one.
little.
Yeah.
Little trumpet.
Yeah.
That's good.
So anyway, this leaves Ashley now. After Nick leaves, she starts singing her solo song, which is her version of Nick's song that we just heard about her heart still beats for you, meaning Nick. And fuck me, I hate her voice so
It's
goddamn much.
bad.
It's the worst one in this movie. It's so high pitch and like airy, if that makes
She
sense.
sounds like
That
this.
yeah, it just does not sound good to me. I have it queued up if you guys want to hear it.
Don't do
but-
it.
do it.
Don't do it.
I'm so tempted. I'm so tempted. I want to do it.
Please. Please.
Just give me 2 seconds of it.
Okay. All right. Oh,
That's
God.
enough.
Yeah, we don't even need to hear it. Just-
There it is.
Ah.
Oh, beats. Beats for you. God.
You don't even know what you did.
okay.
married to his
I can't.
guitar.
There's more of it, but I can't because it's so bad.
Ashley, he's always going to be married to his guitar. He's never going to love you. You'll always be second.
Now here's a question: is this a moment where it's actually moving the song forward? But the problem, it's so generic. The lyrics
I
are so
know.
generic. It's like they just place it in there. It's like, yeah, I guess it could kind of be moving the story forward, maybe.
Kind of. But
So
I
the
don't
only
know.
people so far that are musically moving musically moving the movie, that was really hard
Yeah,
to
that's
say
a
after
mouthful,
some
yeah.
vodka.
Yeah.
Who are doing that are the chicks, are the people who
Yes.
are not the musicians.
Who are who are
in the
not the
movie.
musicians who aren't even supposed to be there.
The groupies. Which just goes to show, where would some bands be without their groupies? I mean,
There you go.
But
You
where
know?
would Clerks be without Dante? Because it
That's
was his
right.
day off, and he wasn't even supposed to be there.
So now
Let's watch Clerks.
Okay.
All right, we'll be back in a minute. Now we jump to Nick alone in the woods again, still playing his guitar and still singing that same fucking song. Oh, this time he's practically crying now as he sings.
Oh God!
And
Looks like he's trying to take a gigantic shit. Like a bulgy eye number 3 or 4,
Yeah.
5. I don't know.
and he's like seriously like on the verge of tears and crying. And we see as he sings, we see a man wearing a long black cloak and a bowler hat, leaning up against a tree nearby, watching him as he plays his fucking song. And Nick just sits there like crying and wanting to be all.
Yeah, cheer up, you little kid.
It's not so bad, Nick. Why are you so sad, Nick? But so this guy now who's in the black cloak and bowler hat,
He's dressed
and he
very
wears
dapper.
like he's very dapper, and he wears this all black mask. It's kind of like the mask Rorschach wears in Watchmen, only it's just all black.
Yeah.
It's just this cloth black mask, and to me he looks very much like a Jack the Ripper type guy. Like if I think of Jack the Ripper, that's right. Black cloak, black bowler hat, white shirt, like just without the black mask, but very Jack the Ripper.
Yes.
And he's just standing there up against a tree watching Nick in
Hanging
the
out.
distance. And I'm like,
It's
what?
like-
Who's this guy now? Where's he from?
I heard your style out in the woods. I like it.
You're going far, kid. You're going some.
And then it
Don't let those girls hold you back, bro.
and then it just blacks out again. And I think this is where I got another Tubi ad. So blackout, move on. Night falls again. Everyone's gathered around the campfire playing and singing. Nick's not there this time because they're actually happy.
They're actually having fun.
They're
Everyone's
actually
having a
having
good
fun. They play a song that I just dubbed Physical Attraction. This one's led by, I think, Robbie again or Carlo, one of the two. The girls start dancing and singing along. At this point, I'm like, how the fuck would they know the lyrics? Because it's never supposed to have been played.
Oh no, this was a song
Yes,
with
I corrected myself in my
okay.
notes. Nick at this point storms up and like just being Nick, just throws a fucking log on the fire, which sends like sparks and embers flying in everybody's face. He's like, "Shut up! Don't play that shit song." Like that's because apparently this is like their old hit song or something. And he
Pretty
basically,
good. I don't know.
Yeah, it was catchy.
he's like, he yells at the band for playing that old fucking bullshit song, and that says that Carson was right. We're nothing more than a glorified party band. And that's where I take back my comment because apparently this was their song that gets
Party
the
song.
groupies
There's
know. Yeah.
nothing wrong with being a party band. Afro Man does it all the time. He just lives off of
true.
one song that was in another Kevin Smith movie.
Because we got high. Because we got
Right?
high.
Exactly.
So at this point, Nick orders them like a fucking tyrant.
Oh my God.
Orders them to play something new real fucking quick, or he's gonna go all batty. or
He's
something.
being like real aggressive. Like he's going to assault someone.
Yeah.
if they don't play a new song.
He's like getting in their face, like, motherfucker, play something new.
yeah.
And I'm sorry. It's like this moment, I'm like, okay, I've had a lot of shit that I would put, like, I might be able to put up with a lot of shit that's happened so far, but this would be the fucking line.
Mm-hmm.
If someone's getting in my face and, like, physically threatening me to play music, I'd be like, that's it. You know, I'm out.
Yeah.
This is the official, boom, 100% out.
Or it would come
Like-
in fisticuffs.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's probably more likely.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
it's the middle of the night in the woods. It's like, well, I gotta walk fucking 10 miles to a road. Or I can just beat this guy's ass.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick at this point is pretty much Yoko Onoing his own band.
Yeah,
At
well-
this
yeah.
point. He's
And even if Nick
Destroying
was
it.
bigger than me, I'd be like, at least I'm gonna get beat up and I can just, you
or
know,
you can
go to
hope,
bed.
or hope the fact that hey, you got 3 other bandmates that are at least either going to take your side or split up pretty
Break
quick.
it up,
Break it
break
up
it
pretty
up.
quick.
So ridiculous.
So yeah, he's barking orders like you. So if you guessed we have to sit through another fucking song, you guessed right because Johnny pulls out his notebook, which he gives to Anton, and he starts singing. And this, I was like, oh my god, it is kind of like they're playing a new song because he pulled out a song notebook, shows it to Anton, and he's like, okay, here's this, and kind of shows him like, here's how you follow along, and Anton starts kind of loosely playing as Johnny starts singing. It's like that's the one time where they show any semblance of actually trying to like do the process of
Instead of
making
just
new
pulling it out of their ass.
and just
Right.
instantly knowing it.
And it's like, and it's a thing because it's like an unfinished song. Well, it's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
finished, dude.
Right.
Well, just play it. You got to play it. Just play.
So
play
we
it.
get another
Play it.
2.5, 3 minutes of shitty singing and song playing of Johnny singing this horrible
Whatever.
song.
This is like a Ben Folds 5 song. He's just bearing his soul.
I mean, I can play it if you guys want to hear it.
She's a brick and I'm dry.
Dude, I heard that in the
Everyone's
grocery
weeping.
store. I heard that in the grocery
Ah.
store. I'm like getting eggs. I'm like, fucking Ben's Folds Fight. You're supposed to be fun. You know, you're rocking the suburbs. You're supposed to be a fun band. And then you
No.
pull this shit out.
Finally, Johnny's song ends. Thank God. And now, think about it, it's been like 24 hours have passed now of the 2 girls being missing. And they just now, somebody's like, hey, I wonder where they're at.
Boy, it sure has been a full day since
It's
they've been
fucking
here.
24
No, they
hours
never
and no
came
one's
back.
heard. Yeah.
They never came back.
But they don't,
What do you
it's
think
quickly
that's about?
passed over because
They don't care.
they gotta do another fucking fuck our missing friends. We gotta play another song. I'm like, God damn it! This stop no. And this one is Anton's new song, which Nick again pretty much bullies Anton into playing. He's like, dude, it's not ready. I don't feel comfortable doing it yet. It's not ready. I don't want to do it. And Nick's like, fucking do it, man. You can play this. You fucking do it. And so he starts playing, but just a few chords into the song, Melinda's cell phone rings. She answers it. Of course, she incurs the wrath of Nick, who grabs her cell phone out of her hand and demands that all the girls hand over their phones, which they do.
And again, this is like, I'd be like, go fuck yourself
Yeah.
solid.
Like,
you know?
maybe I'll turn it off, but I'm not giving it to you.
His girlfriend is Ashley's like, well, I mean, maybe we should just save one,
Just
you know,
in
in
case
case
of
of an
an
emergency. And he's like, fuck that. And she's like, okay, don't hurt me.
What do you mean? You got battered wife or something.
God.
You're a danger girl.
Yeah.
So Anton starts his song over. It's fucking awful, but at least it's relatively short because Anton stops mid-song saying he can't finish it. Nick gets all angry again and insists that Anton finish the song because this is how they'll be great. So Anton leaves and heads out into the dark woods, and the curly-haired girl goes after him.
You're such an asshole, Nick.
Yeah. Nick's anger and attitude kills the party, and everyone at this point just scatters to their own tents. 'cause
Again.
Yeah.
we're going to slow it down here. We're going to slow it down a little bit. Just cheer up, Nick.
How many versions of the song do you have?
It's
I'm
amazing.
surprised there's so many, honestly.
So, alright. Out in the woods, the curly-haired girl is looking for Anton. So, of course, that means it's time for her to bust out her solo song, too. And somehow knows that Anton's unfinished song and sings the rest of the song while walking through the pitch-black woods with a lantern.
But it doesn't have anything to do with the story or moving
No.
anything forward.
And
It's
she's
just a fucking
pining-
song.
I think she's pining for Anton. I think she's like, I wish that you knew how I felt. I'm carrying another gigantic
Against
lantern.
Anton's song's like, turn off the lights, I want to be in the shadow. And she's like, no, turn on the lights, get rid of the dark. It's basically the opposite of what he's singing, the exact same song. And just, again, they changed the word to fit her point of view.
Boo.
It's terrible. You can hear it. I'll play at the end of the
Can we
episode.
also note that we've seen that all of this like teenage angst and drugs and rock and roll have happened, and we've seen like no boobs or butts,
That's
like
right.
at
Right.
all.
Right,
Can
right.
we just note that? Note.
Nope.
Put a pin in that. Put a pin in that.
Thankfully,
Like
though,
the worst rock and rollers. No drugs, no booze, no tits. God!
yeah, I mean, what's the point of being in a band? Is it the whole
Right?
point? That's the point of being in a band.
Burying your soul. Fuck you.
I want the tits and the booze and drugs.
Motley Crue did it right, motherfucker.
But thankfully, her song gets cut short because from out of nowhere, she gets whacked in the back of the head by a sledgehammer by Jack the Ripper, who then just drags her body away.
It's like a weird wide shot. All of a sudden, you like see a close up on her when she's walking through, and then it's like a wide shot. She's like in this field. And you see the swinging, and you see this fake head like fly off. Like that's it. Like, but
Yeah. The editing was really broad because, it's a tight close-up shot of her singing and then just real fast, hard cut to this wide shot of the Jack the Ripper guy smashing in the back there with the sledgehammer.
it was a mannequin.
We cut to Johnny and the other blonde girl now.
Might have fast forwarded through that.
Lying out in a sleeping bag somewhere in the woods. They're not at the camp. They're out in the woods somewhere in a sleeping bag. The girl is
Slip into
singing
my
some
sleeping
song.
Bag.
So-
She's all singing. Who's that? Anton?
No.
Is he the Asian guy?
No, Johnny.
Johnny. So she's all like singing Johnny's song because Johnny's song really touched her,
Yeah,
and like now she's gonna
her.
slip into the sleeping bag with Johnny. So she's singing like her alto version.
Yes. They end up making out in the sleeping bag. She blindfolds both of them,
Yeah,
which is an
right.
interesting move.
Why do you need
That
to be
seems a little
blind-
counterproductive, but
Right?
okay.
Yeah.
Get blindfolded, baby. In the middle of on the ground.
First of all, it's already like pitch black outside, and then you blindfold both of you?
You're licking my elbow.
So while they're making out blindfolded in the sleeping bag, Jack the Ripper just walks right up to him, zips up the sleeping bag around them, but somehow doesn't
With,
bother them?
with
Well, they
zero
Like,
resistance.
yeah, like they just like,
Wow.
okay, like you would feel somebody zipping you up in a sleeping bag, and you'd be well aware that's not you or the
You
guy.
know what I wish they would have done if he just did it very slowly, and you see him very delicately, like tooth by tooth on the zipper, just click, 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 click. So they're in the throes of passion, which I'm thinking to myself, don't think I've ever made out or definitely haven't had sex in a a sleeping bag.
I hope not that bad.
Backpack. It's a magical backpack.
Well, there was that one time when I had a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids moment. I was in a backpack. No, but in a sleeping bag. I've never made out or done it inside of a sleeping bag, one on top of the other. That doesn't
hot.
seem hot.
Seems
Yeah.
really hot. I don't know.
And you wouldn't
Have
a
you
whole
done
lot
it?
of-
Because you just said it's hot, and I'm like, oh, like it's hot. You're like, no, it's like temperature hot.
Yeah,
that
it's
means
like
you've
temperature hot.
you've
It's
done
temperature
this.
hot. Oh!
You've done this, haven't you?
I mean, I like to camp.
I just think it'd be like hard. Like you wouldn't have a lot of freedom to move when you'd be all
No.
cramped.
It's
It's
like
one of those
cramped.
things where you start with expectations and then you
quick like this,
quickly
this,
like.
Guess
yeah,
what?
yeah.
You're stuck to one position, and
Yeah.
that's it.
If you even do it, I mean, I don't
You're
know.
not moving around very much.
So Jack the Ripper zips up the sleeping bag with them in it, and then like goes all like Jason Voorhees and starts like, or not. I'm sorry, not. No, he doesn't.
Jason Voorhees-esque.
He doesn't slam him against the tree. He starts just bashing
scene
him
ever.
with like the sledgehammer, like he's mashing apples or something, like just like splat, 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 or churning butter with the sledgehammer. I don't
Right.
know. He's just like hitting him with the sledgehammer.
And the whole time you're hearing her singing that.
Yeah, and she like the voice of her singing is done with while they're getting killed.
So we're not getting any screams, no sound effects.
No.
No,
We get like a soul moment.
You get a
Yeah.
little Joss Stone.
yeah, there you go.
Hey.
Yeah, all the way the girl's still singing, and then JTP here drags or JTR I should say JT drags the sleeping bag away one-handed, which I call bullshit on that. Because there's no way you'd be able to drag a sleeping bag away with two dead bodies in it with one hand.
It's got to be 300 pounds. If both
Easily,
of them, yeah.
easily, yeah.
Yeah, the
and
other guy was
if they're
buff.
each buck a 150 when he weighs more than 150. He's probably 170, 180.
Sure, and she might be a little less, but yeah, around 300 pounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with one hand in a sleeping bag? No,
No.
it ain't happening.
No.
With two limp dead bodies in it. So, but anyway, that happens. So next
we kind of get to see a kill.
yeah,
Kinda.
kind of. Next we see Nick smashing all the girls' cell phone with a
Oh
rock.
man, he goes crazy
Dude,
mode.
he looks insane. He
Yep.
looks like an evil monkey, like bashing, like trying to open a coconut. You know, like just smashing these phones with a rock. You know,
That's right. And then that's it. The next morning we're cutting all the way to Melinda and
Did you guys catch the weird scene, like the weird flash of the random foot with a maggot? Like
yes,
one maggot on it?
Yeah, there's one scene where
just one maggot.
where they
one
show
foot.
Because maggots are very singular.
And one
They're
maggot.
yeah, they show
they're very loner species.
It's like-
they're solitary creatures.
Yes, exactly.
They're solitary parasites. They show one quick shot of a severed, like swollen purple severed foot in the grass with like one maggot on it.
I must have
That's it.
fast forward past that too.
At first, like, is that Carlos' foot? But his foot's never been cut off to this point. He's still got a foot, but
Well, shit, it could be one of the girl's foot who had her mama's titties tattooed on her arm.
yeah, I
What's
guess
that?
yeah, Georgie's foot.
Georgie,
I guess.
that's it.
The body parts are piling up, apparently.
So
Just spreading hers around.
like I said, next morning we see Melinda and French chick walking in the woods together.
God.
While Melinda continues to teach Frenchie English.
Oh God!
This is here where we kind of realize that they might be lesbian lovers, or at least that's what I got from this because they're holding hands.
Right?
And they're all like,
I was thinking if we're gonna see tits at all in this movie, it's gonna be right now.
Yes.
It's gonna be right now. The two chicks, they're gonna totally stereotype. Come on, French chick.
And she's French, you know.
yeah,
They're,
French.
they're cool with like they invented the tongue, basically.
Right?
You know, what I mean, they're free
Menage
in
a
love.
trois,
Whatever. Yeah,
free
exactly.
love,
They're sexually liberated. She's like, "Boy, you're cute. I'm just gonna take my shirt off."
Yeah.
But no.
But anyway, guess what this leads to, guys? Two of them breaking out into a fucking song, and if you want to guess, this one sucks too.
This one's awful.
This is probably the worst of the entire movie, and that's saying a lot.
It's saying a lot.
I don't think I'm even going to play a snippet of this one because it's awful.
I started to get very angry at this point. Like, this song put me past the edge.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
It put you in the red on this one.
Serious. Because it's all about, it's so cute at first, and they're walking, and they're holding hands, and they're like, how do you say I love you? Je t'aime. Je t'aime.
Je t'aime.
And it's horrible harmonizing,
Yeah.
so I can't handle it in the first place. We see no tits. And then, I know, it's so disappointing.
Right.
And then it's like, the
rock
song
opera.
switches
Not
into
opera.
like this, like, kind of, like rock.
Punk rock song,
punk rock
yeah.
song. Would you like
a cigarette? Would you
No.
like a table for one, a table for two? Shatam, shatam, shatam. I love you, I love you, I love you. It's oh god, it's awful.
Do girls act like this in an alternative universe? I have never had a friend that I have been like this with. I've never had a French friend.
Did
I don't-
meet a French exchange student at a party when I was in college, and she was leaving within a matter of days, and I was thinking I could totally score with her. I didn't. However, she did think I was charming enough that she's like, I can't drive back with this bottle of booze, and gave it to me. And I was like, aw, thanks. And like we hugged, and I was like, well, there goes my
tits.
there goes my
guess I'll take
opportunity
the booze.
to hang out with her. Here's the fun part. I'm driving back home. I'm a little drunk, and I don't know what to do with this bottle of booze. And being a youngster, not really knowing I could just put it in the fucking trunk like a normal human being, I have it sitting shotgun with me. I get pulled over by the police officers about 3 blocks from my house. My parents' house. This is like a summer between college. And I'm like, oh my god. The guy, I take the bottle, and I'm like, if I duck down, he's gonna see me. He's gonna be suspicious. So I just take the bottle, put it underneath my leg. And the police officer comes to the window. And I'm just like, yes, officer? He's like, hey, you know why I pulled you over? I'm like, honestly, officer, I don't know why you pulled me over. He's like, your tail light's out. You want to check it out? I'm like, fuck!
No, I don't want
If
to
I stand out and get out of the car, he's going to see an open bottle of booze, and he's going to be like, oh, you're dead, motherfucker. And I'm like, well, and he
I
goes, hold
believe
on.
you, sir.
And then all of a sudden, he's like, hold on. Something's happening with his radio, and he goes, get the taillight fixed, and just leaves. My heart.
Saved by St. Louis crime.
That would have been Belleville crime. That actually would have been Belleville crime at the time.
Technically,
was it
it would have been
Belleville
Belleville crime,
Okay.
but still.
Saved by Belleville crime. Way to go,
crime.
Belleville.
Yeah.
But that's what I thought about when I thought of French chicks. Whenever I hear French chicks, I'm just like, that gal who gave me a bottle of booze, and I almost got busted.
Je t'aime, je t'aime.
Yeah.
So they finished their song, though.
They finished the song.
Sorry for
That's
telling
great.
me
No,
the
whatever.
flow of the movie.
No,
Yeah.
it's the worst song. But right after the song finishes, Melinda gets grabbed from behind and dragged into the woods by Jack the Ripper.
He just, like, I almost missed it. He, like, just grabs her by the neck and is like, boop.
Yank.
And the French bitch, what does she do? She's out.
Yes,
She's
she
like,
does.
nope, fuck this.
Frenchie runs all the way back to camp to get help, but
Je
nobody
t'aime
can.
these nuts, motherfucker.
But no one can understand her screaming in French, and so. She's also singing in French to get help because she's
Yes,
kind of sing.
yes.
She's like screaming for help. No one can understand. And then she gets blasted in the back of the head
Yeah,
by
where does
Jack
he
the
come
Ripper's
from?
sledgehammer. seeing this, the guy's like, oh, fuck. They take off as Ashley just stands there and watches Frenchie die, which takes her a hot minute.
But Frenchie's standing there looking kind of dazed and thinking, okay, she might be okay.
She's like smiling. She's got a smile on her face.
And then there's just like one.
It just squirts right out like a fountain, like bloop.
Yeah, this bitch got mollywopped in the back of the head by a fucking sledgehammer.
But it was like the most delayed blood response
yeah,
ever.
so delayed.
It's like she was staggering for like a good 30 seconds, and then, oh yeah, the blood's like, oh yeah.
It's like the blood guy's off camera, is like pushing the button. It's not working. It won't work. And then finally, oh, there it goes.
Okay, we'll just keep it. Just keep it.
All right, just keep it. It take too much time and money to redo it. So at this point, Carlo is running through the woods and leading Robbie through the forest. Like Robbie's got his arm on Carlo's shoulder, and they're running together. And then from out of fucking nowhere, he too gets blasted by Jack the Ripper sledgehammer. This
actually made me jump.
Yeah.
It actually made me jump a little bit.
Okay. And then Jack the Ripper steps out from behind a tree, leaving blind Robbie alone and defenseless. At this point, I'm like, fuck Jack the Ripper. It's more like Jack the Sledgehammer. Jack the Hammerer or something.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know.
Triple H.
Back at camp, Nick and Ashley are frantically trying to gather up some of their stuff. She asked about the cell phones.
Where's the cell phones?
And he shows her the
This is an
broken and
emergency.
shattered remains of the phone. Like, here they are.
Whoopsie.
She's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? He broke. He got her cell phones and broke them. He goes, well, that was actually me.
Well, I mean, I did it.
I
with
was
me.
just mad.
Yeah.
I was just an emo dick.
Sorry, I was being an
It's all
asshole
about the
again.
music, man.
Sorry.
Then Nick then leads her to one of the hunting sheds. And, of course, he brings his guitar with him.
He's running with his guitar.
He's running with his guitar.
Hey, a good guitar man will tell you that he would never leave his guitar behind. Like, no man who truly... I mean, no guitar... I'm serious. A guitarist is in love with his guitar. Do
But
you
a
see
guitar's
true
like,
guitar
what,
guys?
at most $500?
Dude,
Or an electric. I don't know.
they have a thing. They have a
They do have a
connection.
thing. It's kind of weird.
Willie
I'm
Nelson has
just
had
being-
the same guitar since
Yeah.
what
telling you.
1932.
I'm telling you, it's a guitar thing. It's a anyway, typical lead singer guitar.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Ashley. I'm gonna say my guitar.
And
Take her. I'll
Take
my
her.
guitar.
Just don't hurt my guitar.
so they get to this hunting shed, and they're looking for because they're supposed to have like some axes, some other stuff in it. Of course, it's all empty. All, the shovels, axes, anything, it's all gone, and the two of them run off. Now we get shots of Jack the Hammerer, Jack the Ripper, whoever you want to call the guy, running through the forest, and then go right back to Robbie, who starts just getting pelted with rocks and
Stones. He's like being stoned.
He's literally being stoned to death.
And that is a terrifying. That's like people talk about drowning. People talk about being burned to death. I think for me personally, something like being stoned is terrifying.
Yes. And he's blind, and they play it up like
Yeah.
totally like they spend a
He
lot.
can't see.
They spend a lot of time on this death, which they don't spend really
His
any time on
Is
any other
the
death.
longest drawn out death
And
in the
most
movie, really.
painful. I'm like,
Yes.
Jesus Christ. this
Most of the
guy's-
other ones are pretty quick, and his is like just battered with.
He's like,
stone.
oh, it's just I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, Robbie gets busted open. His sunglasses he's been wearing the whole movie. They go flying off. He drops to his knees. He's bleeding profusely from the head.
So bad.
And then, I don't know quite what happens here. Robbie then seems, through the sheer power of wills his blindness away, saying, I want to see the
I
suffering,
wanna
and I'm
see."
glad I'm dead. And with that, he opens his eyes, and then we get a POV shot of Jack the Ripper, like with a large rock as he
A big
brings
rock,
it down
yeah.
and just smashes it into Robbie's face. So it really makes it look like at the last moment, Robbie can see the rock being blasted into his face.
So he wasn't really blind. He just had his eyes closed the whole time.
Yeah, like it was his stick. Like this is how I get girls.
He
the
just
sympathy
didn't
vote.
want to.
I pretend I'm blind. but I
I'm
can see
on the blind
everything.
basis. Hey, that is not a bad play.
I want to.
Not a blind.
I see through touch. Let
Yes.
me see your face.
Let
Let
me-
me,
I wanna-
let me
touch
your-
you.
Yeah. Oh.
Let me
those are
see them
beautiful.
I think,
titties.
there's a joke. I think there's a joke about that. They try to make a joke about that when they're like around the fire. Like he's like that one Kelly chick with
He
the nose
asks, is
ring.
the French girl hotter than me? And he's like, I know, let me see your... And he starts rubbing the girl's
And he's like,
face.
no, or yes, or something like that.
I don't
Like
know what
totally. Anyway,
He's not even like
Stupid.
sensually... Like, the girl's face he's trying to like see with his hand. It's not like he's doing all like caress and nice. He's just like manhandling her face. He's like rubbing his
Just
face.
mangling her.
Like,
It's like a pie in the face.
He just rubs it in. It's always doing. There's no like real central touch the features to figure out the jawline, the cheekbones. He's just like with his hand.
He just had his hands on his balls too.
Just sitting on him.
Come here, bitch.
Now breathe in. Breathe. There it is. There it is. Oh, that's hilarious.
Whatever. I'm
Damn,
gonna stand up for him. I'm gonna stand up for this dude because he got wronged in death.
Sarah,
And then-
your official bro right there.
Thank you.
That's a bro move. Surprised you thought of that. We didn't.
But then, as soon as that happened, Tubi commercial.
Yes!
It was like,
Ed!
bam! And I was like, oh, Tubi. Like,
Yep, same thing. Ashley and Nick make it back to the girls' car, which they find smashed and with music notes written in blood on the
music
hood.
notes.
What?
Those were pretty well done, by
They
the way.
were really well
It was Very
done.
well done. Took a lot of time to paint that on there.
And then they just run off into the forest. And as they run, then Nick just stops. Comes to a dead stop.
Oh God.
Ashley's like, what the fuck are you doing? Come on, Nick, we gotta go. And we hear more Nick voiceover poetry shit. More of the close up the big old eyes. And then Nick orders Ashley to turn on the DAT, which is just a small recording device he's been obsessed with this whole time. She turns it on, and Nick starts playing his fucking guitar and singing as a confused Ashley can't believe this is happening, and then decides, like, I'm out. And she
She's
just
like,
leaves.
I'm running. Sorry. You're going to sit there. He's like, I will make song. I am the song. I will not run.
I am
Sing a
music. I am the
song."
music. The music is me. I was like, you're running for your life, and he just comes to a complete stop and decides, oh, moment of genius. I have to record this song right now.
I feel the same way I did when I was 12 and I lost a pinwheel. I have to play this music.
So inspirational, all this death.
At this point, shit starts getting fucking weird and confusing from here on out.
Yes.
So as Nick's
now
playing,
shit gets weird?
as Nick's playing, and I will play this final song. I will play the final one when we get to it. Well, it's actually happening now, but I'm going to talk about some stuff here. So he starts playing, and when he starts playing, he's clean Nick. And I mean clean Nick is he's fine, looks totally normal. And then it keeps cutting back and forth between Nick, clean Nick, and then Nick covered in blood.
Mm-hmm.
And Ashley's running through the woods as he's singing. She comes across the weird tree teepee thing that we talked about a long time ago, looks inside, finds Carson's dead body with his BlackBerry jammed into his mouth. Ashley grabs the BlackBerry, tries to call for help, but can't, throws the phone. When she turns around, there's Nick standing there singing and playing
his
still,
fucking guitar.
hands and neck covered in blood. Ashley's like, what the fuck, Nick? What's the matter with you? Everyone's dead. And then she runs off again.
Yes, what the fuck, Nick?
And
seriously.
So, some more stuff happened, but at this point, I think I'm going to play the song. I'm not sure if I should play it now or later, but I'm going to play it here because this is like the big finale piece.
I need another drink.
All right, so here's. This happens. The beginning of this. Well, you'll hear it. You'll get it. Here we go.
Turn on the DAT.
So there's where it is. Turn on the DAT.
Turn the DAT on.
I don't
Turn
know
it
what
on.
I'm
Push
doing.
the
I
fucking
don't know
button.
what-
Abusive.
Yep. So remember, they're supposed to be running for their lives in the middle of the forest from a killer, and he stops to do this.
It's very melodic for a death scene.
Oh, what a waste
Yeah, what a waste.
of
Fuck.
a hurricane. Take a look at this place. It's just a little wind and rain. No hail, stones, no sunken homes, no wall of mud, no 1,000-year flood. Oh, what a waste at your face. Thought there'd be more than this.
Oh, this is when she's calling. She's trying to
Yeah.
call, and
No,
Yeah, that's where she finds the phone.
no ball of flame, and all we've got is still the same. And I can't believe
I can't believe it either.
I can't believe I'm listening to this fucking song again.
here to see the sun explode in the sky. Way up high. It was worth the
It would be so bad if Marshall's tone deaf and he can't hit a note to save his life.
No, I cannot.
Oh, what a waste
What a waste of time.
of an American dream.
An American
We're
dream.
going straight up into space with plasticine.
I bet you just.
Plasticine.
Yeah, I don't even know what that
What
is.
the hell is that?
I was gonna ask you.
No world to run.
It's dead.
To be won.
It's appropriate.
And he's just in the woods, just rocking,
Yep.
you know, just on his acoustic guitar, and she's freaking out.
Yeah, and then so
Ugh.
basically, and it keeps going on after that. But so that's basically And at this point, Ashley's running through the forest, and she runs across the curly-haired girl.
Oh, this is awesome. Did you?
Yeah, lying on the ground. Her face has been turned to mush,
Mush.
but
Like-
is somehow still clinging to life.
She was breathing.
Yeah.
Her body was definitely breathing,
Yeah.
and she went like rah rah.
Yeah.
Ashley screams, runs away, leaves her friend to die in the woods.
Which she should have been dead. We
Oh,
watched.
she'd been
no,
dead as
we
fuck.
watched her head come off her body.
No.
No,
No.
we did. Remember?
No.
The redheaded chick.
No, this is the chick that was with the French girl.
No. This is the pseudo redheaded girl.
Well, then that's the girl who got her
Then
head cut
that's
off.
the girl that got her head chopped off because
Chopped
it was
off.
like the weird editing. We just talked about
Yeah,
it. She was,
I never saw her head go flying off.
Oh,
That's
her
the
head
thing.
goes-
And she gets hit in the weird thing is she got hit in the back of the head when we saw it, not the face, which is her face turned to mush now. But I never saw her head go flying.
oh, terrible.
And I
This
don't know
is
if
not,
now I'm like, God, I really don't want to have to go back and watch this movie to see.
and that just
Uh,
shows you how bad the movie is.
This is
It's
not criminal intent
if there's
worthy.
three people
No.
here arguing over who the character is that's on the ground clinging to life.
Well, I know what the
And I know
character
you've
is.
seen it more than once, and I know
Yeah.
you've seen it more than once,
Yep.
and I didn't watch it for shit. But we all still can't figure it out.
All I know is she got hit in the back. I did not see a head go flying. She got hit in the back of the head, but her face in front of her head is what's turned to mush.
I could have swore you said her head went flying.
I-
She did, but I
thought
never.
her head went
I
flying.
did not see her head go flying.
Because I was like, "Ooh, nice mannequin." Because like, I saw like,
And I know you've seen it at least twice.
But anyway,
Was it 3 times?
it was twice,
Okay.
but I had to.
Twice.
I 2.5.
2.5. I was twice.
I got a hair in my mouth.
Okay.
So anyway, Ashley,
Gross.
even though her friend's still alive,
Gross.
she leaves her. She's like,
Right.
"Fuck you, I'm out." She leaves her friend to die.
Smart.
So, and then
She's
we
still
see
running.
Jack the Ripper stalking through the forest after Ashley. Ashley then finds Anton tied to some trees. He's had that dumb little
Melodica.
like stabbed
I
through
kinda-
his neck like it was a tracheotomy.
I kind of like it, but only because I'm partial to that instrument. I was like, oh, "Okay, that's good."
And the best
Okay.
part is he's still clinging to life
He's like,
because he's breathing, and with each breath, he's playing musical notes. It sounds like an accordion, like every time he breathes.
pretty funny.
Again,
Can't really call it chill.
Ashley says, "Fuck you, I'm out." Doesn't try to help the guy.
She's
She
like,
takes off running. She leaves him again to die. And next, she runs smack dab into the bloody sleeping bag that's been strung up to a tree, just dripping blood. So she's like, how the killer would know that she would run into all three of these people, like to line these up in the perfect right, is beyond. You can't
It's a
comprehend
great
that.
body reveal. Yeah.
Yeah, but still. Okay, so then as she runs, the DAT thing falls out of her pocket, even though at one point I swear she left on the ground when Nick told her to turn it on, but I think she did. She might have carried it with her for some dumb reason. It falls out of her pocket. And when it hits the ground, as soon as it hits the ground, it starts to play Nick's song back. She picks it up, and when she stands up, she sees Jack the Ripper is walking towards her with the sledgehammer. So she starts to run again, but Jack catches her, and now we go back to what we saw in the opening of the movie, where we saw the blonde girl staggering through the woods. He stabs her in the back a few times. She gets away, staggers forward for a few steps before falling over. Jack mounts her while she's laying chest down on the, stomach down on the ground, and with his bare hands starts like ripping her skin and like ligaments or muscles off of her back. That's actually pretty brutal. I've never seen that before. I actually did kind of like that.
It looked
that
pretty
was
good.
just vicious and brutal. He's just ripping away at her. All this is happening while that song continues to play from that recording device. Somehow, Ashley manages to wiggle free, scramble to her feet, and slowly limps away. Jack just calmly walks behind her as Ashley starts lip syncing along to Nick's song. Nick's voice fades out
to the end.
His voice fades out, and then Ashley picks up singing the rest of the song as she's covered in blood, limping away from the killer, who's just calmly walking right behind her. What the fuck? Ashley drops the dat. The killer stops to pick it up, and then it cuts to Ashley, who now has somehow managed to make it across the river and is on like this rocky outcropping shoreline of the river. She eventually collapses on the rocks. She looks up and sees Nick across the river, high up on this rocky ledge, and he's like freaking out. And then we see
finally,
yeah, and then we see Jack the Ripper guy walk up behind Ashley on the opposite side of the river than Nick. Then we see Nick holding the dat in his hand, even though we just saw the killer pick it up. And this is where the confusion and the what the fuckiness really kicks
Everything
in.
just gets weird.
This is where it kicks in.
So the camera now flashes back and forth between shots of the killer standing over Ashley, then Nick on the other side of the river, covered in blood, holding the dat, twitching and freaking out. Then it cuts again, and Nick is all clean, no blood.
Clean Nick.
And then we see the killer. The killer is now holding the dat, standing where Nick was. Then we see clean Nick rise up from behind the killer. Nick quietly picks up the sledgehammer, hits Jack the Ripper in the back of the head with it. Jack stumbles for a moment, turns around to face Nick, who is now bloody Nick again, even though no blood flew out of Jack the Ripper. Nick then swings the sledgehammer at Jack, this time hitting him across the face, sends Jack falling off the high rocky ledge and plummeting into the river below. Ashley, still laying on the rocks on the other side of the river, looks up, sees clean Nick looking over at her. They lock eyes for a moment. Nick throws the sledgehammer into the river, picks up the dat, and then he too, I don't get this, then he just jumps off the ledge and down into the river.
He jumps off the ledge so that he can get over to Ashley because he can't climb down and get to her. But it is very surprising that he would ruin his recording by jumping into the river.
The dat's ruined now, but at the same time, the way he jumps into the river, he doesn't do it. It doesn't look like his goal is to get to Ashley. Because he's not looking at Ashley.
It looks like he's about to end it all.
It looks like he's just like, it's like, I'm going to kill myself, but even though it's like a 10-foot drop.
What a waste.
Into the water.
Oh, what a waste.
So Ashley
an American dream. God.
Nick swims over to Ashley, who seems a lot less bloody all of a sudden.
And a lot less concerned.
I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah, it's like all the blood is kind of gone now. She's not bloody anymore.
It's fine now.
Ashley looks right into Nick's eyes and says, "But please." Nick leans in closer to her, leans into her, We get flashbacks of all the murders now. Nick then just stands up, grabs the dat, and steps over Ashley and walks away, all while that same fucking song is playing on a loop in the background. Blackout. That's it. Then we cut to Nick sitting on a couch in a lavish, rich record producer's office.
I called this, by the way.
Oh, I did too. The producer dressed all in white because, of course, why
Sure.
not? That when rich people, they always dress in all white.
Some gold accents.
Yes, the gold chain. Sits down next to Nick saying, "Congratulations, Nick, you did it. This is going to be big. Very, very big." And we see the producer holding Nick's new solo album entitled
Don't go in the woods.
There we go. And the two of them shake hands. The producer says to Nick, "The best thing you ever did was get rid of that band. Get ready." Nick turns, looks at the camera as his song starts playing again. Blackout. Roll the credits. What the fuck?
We get one
What?
last buggy Elijah Wood look though, and
Yep.
that just is
Dude,
supposed
that was
to
the
leave us forever.
like the longest conclusion to a movie
ever.
that you talked about ever. I'm just like, I look at Sarah. I'm like pointing at my watch.
Yeah, I saw that, by the way, but like they don't.
but
You know what? They don't.
There's reason. It's just so convoluted and
It's so
ridiculous.
confusing.
I'm like,
It's
what
so
is
confusing.
What is happening? Because I'm listening to you say this. I'm totally lost.
Yeah.
And like that's exactly how you feel watching it. You're just totally lost. Like
And
what is
that's
happening?
the best possible way I could try to explain it.
you did a
'Cause
good job.
If you visually watch
Yeah.
it, you still don't really know what's happening.
Right, but
Even
you-
though, like,
But you
Sarah,
still
said
call
it.
the end.
You
You
still
still can call the end though.
I knew the moment Nick smashed the very first cell phone and started singing a song saying, "I'm frozen, I'm an ice age," I'm like, oh, he's the killer.
Yeah.
But then you get to the ending where you have this Jack the Ripper guy and Nick going back, clean Nick, bloody Nick. But then, like, okay, so.
But then there's a brother who died in the
yeah,
woods
but okay, so here's
when
what
they were
makes it
14.
so much more fucking confusing. So we get Nick was the killer, which is obvious. But here's where it gets really confusing. Why was Ashley seeing Jack the Ripper instead of Nick when she was getting attacked? On top of that, then we see Nick kill the killer, even though he was the killer. So the only thing I can think of for that is, my guess is that once Nick accomplishes goals of killing everyone else, he killed, quote unquote, he killed that side of him, killing the killer inside.
Ooh, what if this happened? Okay, this is a stretch. What if when they were young, they used to go into the woods and his brother, when he was 14, got killed by a killer. Brutally by Jack the Ripper, okay, and then years later he's damaged. I'm a damaged soul.
'Cause
but
he's
he's
emo.
really trying to figure out how the hell he can ditch these motherfuckers who are like, subpar humans. Okay, so then he's like, I'm gonna take him into the woods, and this guy that killed my brother, I'm gonna just, I'm gonna have, like just sacrificial lambs kind of a thing, like
Yeah.
sacrifice him to this guy,
To the
and
music
then,
gods. Okay.
yeah, to the music god, aka Jack the Ripper in a bolo hat, and then. And then he walked away.
I don't
But that doesn't-
get it. And then why is Ashley seeing both clean Nick and bloody Nick? The
'Cause
whole thing's fucking odd, weird, confusing.
Because it's poorly written.
Guys, I got to see a man about a horse. Let's wrap this up.
Okay, I'm gonna say the music sucked. It didn't add to the story, helped to progress the story plot. Unlike Annie Pocket, we are talking about the ending is, even though it's obvious, it's so convoluted and confusing that it makes me not fully understand what the hell I just watched or what happened.
Does it make you angry? Does it make you really angry? 'Cause
It
made me
kinda
really,
does.
Really, really, really angry.
Yeah, I won't
So
lie.
I left feeling very angry.
All right, so let's move on to favorite kills.
Don't act like you didn't love it. Favorite kill.
Yeah. All right, ladies first.
Damn it. The whole time I watched this movie, I was trying to figure out, like, did I even actually see anyone get killed?
Right.
I mean, so Ashley's kill was, but no, we don't actually see her get killed. We
You
just see
don't.
her brutally get ripped up. We see the French chick. So we do
Ashley
see,
just gets walked away from. For all we know, she might have lived and walked out of the woods.
she's just living in the woods now with,
Yeah.
with the hunters. She's the hunters bitch. So I'm gonna say the kill that pissed me off the most is Robbie, the blind guy, because I'm really like, that's a kill that we saw. It was super brutal. They stoned him to death. He got stoned so much that a miracle happened, and then he could see.
He got stoned so hard it cured his
blindness only for him to watch himself die. So if I have to say a favorite kill, I'm going to say that's my least favorite kill ever on this show. I mean, there's not a lot to choose from. And it made me really mad because I felt like they like totally played on this dude's blindness.
Of course,
to like create this like the only kill that they showcase.
It's like an extra ounce of cruelty.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But honestly, in any other horror movie, if you're just a blind guy, you're going to play off the blindness. I mean, that's it's going to happen in a horror movie.
Right, but this movie was so
like
horribly
stalking
written.
in the dark, and then you're going to get slashed with the same weapon you kill other people with. No one else died by being bludgeoned with rocks.
Yeah.
Except for the cell phones.
R.I.P.
cell phones.
R.I.P. flip phones. Like, so I got that's
Motorola Razor. Oh,
that's my
R.I.P.
final answer right there, because like it was like, oh, like you said, like they started stoning him. I was like, oh, but then at the end I was so mad about it. So, but
I'm gonna go with the guy who was leading Robbie through the woods. Carlo. And like he's running, and all of a sudden, what? Like they do a POV shot of this camera, the sledgehammer coming at you. I don't know if they did a burst or not, or a cut frame, but it was enough that made me go, ugh.
Yeah.
You know, like I jumped, and then they show his head, and it's kind of caved in a little bit, and it's all bloody, and I'm like, that actually kind of made me jump a little bit.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I reacted to about in the movie, where I was like, ah. Okay.
Your only reaction.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm like, I hate this.
No, for me, I wanted it to be the blonde and blue in the car, because that scene was actually intense. When they're shaking the car, their windows are getting smashed. She's got a bloody limb falling. It was intense. Like, okay, horror movie, great. And then after that,
Tubi commercial.
Yeah. Well, then it becomes 45 minutes of just shitty song after shitty song. But what ruins the kill is, one, you don't actually see what happens to the girl, and then two, the ad is so fast and hard. It's like, boom, Tubi commercial. What? It takes you right out of the moment. So unfortunately, I'm not gonna go with that but I wanted to. If they would have showed what happened, and she's the one girl who, when they're doing all the other, we never see what happened to her.
Right.
Good point.
We see all the other, like, we know Georgie gets cut in half or severed, dismembered. We see that. We see the body reveals at the end of all the other characters except for her. We don't know what happened to her.
Maybe she's the foot with the maggot.
Maybe.
Maggot foot.
Who knows?
So I guess my sleeping bag was kind of lame. You don't see anything. I come down to Carlo and Robbie, and I guess I'm gonna say, I'm gonna go with Sarah. I'm gonna go with Robbie, because like I've never seen somebody get stoned so hard it cured his blindness just for him to see his own death. Like, that blew me away.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. You're dead. So yeah, I guess I'll go with Robbie as well. All right, let's move on to the odds and ends.
Just when you thought it was over, here comes the odds and ends.
All right, ratings. IMDb. You know what? I'm going to do something I've never done before. You guys want to guess what IMDb gives it? It's out of 10. It's out of 10.
3.8.
3.8.
I'm going to say low. I'm going to say like 3.2, 3, 1. I don't know.
You guys are pretty close, but lower than that. 2.7.
Wow.
I just want to see, because
Wow.
it's bad. Rotten Tomatoes, 13% on the thermometer score with a 12% audience score.
Ooh, dang.
And Amazon, I bet Aaron gets this one.
3.5.
Oh, you let me down, but close. 3.
Ugh.
3 out of 5.
I always said 3.5.
You normally say 3, but 3. It's Amazon. It's almost everything's a 3.
Everything's
Find anything lower than a 3 on
anything's
Amazon.
lower than an
like,
actual 3. It's like, that's gotta be.
It's like finding the
shit.
goose that lays the golden egg or something like that. Fucking unicorn. Plot keywords. You know what? I didn't write anything down. There might not have been any. There might not have been any. Trivia. It was filmed in Woodstock, New York, on land owned by Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yes.
So he owned his own the land and started.
Fucking hippie.
And you know what? I always said Vincent sings a song about Jesus on the rails. So that's it. Budget. Couldn't find anything.
Dang.
I couldn't find anything. anything on the budget.
That'd be a weird one because Vincent D'Onofrio or whatever.
D'Onofrio. It's not that hard, dude.
D'Onofrio?
It is hard.
D'Onofrio?
D'Onofrio.
Even I can get D'Onofrio right, but butcher everybody else's name. But I
Just
get
guessing at
D'Onofrio.
his name, D'Onofrio. I mean, he's obviously has to have bank.
He's got that
Right.
Law and Order money.
Yeah. He's obviously
Dun, dun.
has exposure to money or the ability to get money.
Yeah.
Right.
So you think that, and this is,
But also, if
definitely-
he recorded on his own land, so that's cuts down location
Right,
Right, that
costs.
That's
takes down
true.
a lot of costs. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I'm really curious as to what. Yeah.
And the actors were all unknown, pretty much. I looked up; none of them really done
No.
anything.
Well, it
at
looks
all.
like the majority of them were musicians, actual musicians, because it seemed like they
That
were
doesn't-
playing.
Grant,
this
but that
song.
doesn't say much. There's a lot of people who can sing and play instruments that aren't big.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're
I mean,
just- they're not.
Sarah
they're,
plays the emoticon or whatever the fucking thing
The
is.
harmonica
emoticon,
board.
the harmona board,
Harmonica board, whatever.
slash melodica.
Melodica. There we go. Whatever.
If we ever make an indie horror movie, you've got to play that.
You're making
I
a
will.
cameo.
You're making a
with
cameo.
that.
Back in the band.
You'll be the weird party chick that shows up and is
playing Eye of the Tiger.
Or it'll be a birthday party
yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
And then you say,
back.
all right, guys, let's get this party really started. Eye of the Tiger.
Only if I get killed off proper, though. Seriously, like don't do me wrong.
We'll kill you with the same instrument.
Don't do me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? maybe what we'll do is, you're playing it, and your death scene is whatever that thing is called, and you get stabbed with it.
Soft, wet eye hole.
That
Right,
would
there
be
you
good.
go.
That would be
Right
good.
yourself in an eye hole.
And then,
That'd
like,
be
right
good.
as I die, it's like, guys, we're writing a movie.
All right. All right, so
Better
that
than
brings
this one.
us to Mortal Kombat Combat.
At the end of this day, one shall stand, one shall fall.
Good versus bad. Right versus wrong. Light versus dark. In the end, when the dust settles, who will be left standing after Mortal Kombat combat?
All right.
Let's watch Bloodsport.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's
That is a
great
good one.
All right, so there were 44 total reviews on Amazon. 43% are 5-star reviews.
What?
35% are 1-star.
That's split down the middle.
Yeah.
Pretty much, and everything in between was like 2%, 3%, hardly anything. It was either love it or hate it.
I can see that.
And people had a lot to say about this movie in the reviews. So the first one from Book Addict, which I put in parentheses, greatly edited down because their review was quite a thing. So this is a blurb from it. Don't Go in the Woods is truly original. Think The Blair Witch Project meets Glee. The songs
Yeah.
deserve an album of their own, and
hate
there are
both
some
of those
properly
things.
gruesome slayings. After this, you'll think twice about ever getting romantic in a sleeping bag. 5 stars.
Only because it's hot. That's like,
From Nene012881.
Nay, nay.
Nene. The only thing about this movie is the lack of a soundtrack. The movie makes you want the music from it. I like unique movies, and this one is exactly that. If you are open-minded and enjoy fireside music while camping, you will love this movie. 5 stars.
I'm very open-minded, but I hate
I
the
am
song.
super open-minded. No.
You're so open-minded, you're over-minded.
I'm over-minded.
From El
Tired.
Radecki, I want the soundtrack to this movie. You can see there's a pattern here. I want the soundtrack to this movie and cannot find it anywhere. I love this movie so much that I watch it every night so that the songs are the last thing I hear before falling asleep.
Ew.
Bo, please release the soundtrack. I beg you. 5 stars.
Ew.
Hannah, so what? It's cheesy. I don't care what people say. This film was like an old school horror musical. I love it.
What?
No, it's not.
No, we watched old school.
Yeah, my point is,
They're
what
from the
is an
80s.
old school horror musical?
Stage fright?
That's not.
That's
even,
not a musical.
That's not a
That's just-
musical.
yeah.
Not the original.
Yeah.
What? There is really no old school horror musical.
Rocktober Blood.
That's the closest thing I think of. I don't know if that's not.
At least
that's
there was
not
like
even considered a
cocaine in that
musical.
movie.
Yeah, that. That was more of just like about a rock band.
It was about a rock band that
They
had
didn't-
this, but
they
it
didn't-
wasn't advertised as
They
a
didn't
musical.
sell it as a musical. They sold it as like, hey, it's a rock band.
A rock
killer.
band, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from Brian T, best movie ever! 5 stars. Jay Sussy. I love how Mr. D'Onofrio kept this movie true to the old school style of indie horror flicks. Very gruesome yet awesome kills. It's kind of quote unquote campy, but this one is a bit different though because it incorporates music played throughout the film by the cast like you would find in a musical, but still keeping it dark and mysterious.
Ooh,
Not all that
mysterious.
happy and jazzy like that Little Shop of Horrors. 5 stars.
I love Little
I
Shop
love
of
Little
Horrors.
Shop of Horrors. That's like a really good musical.
What's their name?
It's really good.
Jay sucks. Jay, last name Scucci.
Jay goes suck a dick.
Oh,
go.
and it goes on. I own a 51-inch HD 3D TV because I love movies, and this is one of them. The special effects were great, and I would definitely recommend to the fans of indie movies or anyone who appreciates the craft of movie making. 5 stars.
What an asshole.
I like how he's bragging about his 51-inch
Right?
TV.
I know.
But it is 3D. Jesse Lemke. I love this movie. Watch it before every camping trip and each October, waiting for the soundtrack to be released. 5 stars.
Why the fuck would you watch that before a camping trip? That seems like the worst movie to watch.
Musical inspiration.
Yeah,
But
going
dude,
out the woods. To play
Everyone's
the
getting
music
killed
guys.
in the woods. Let's go. Let's go, guys. You ready?
And lastly, from Joshua Wells, it sucks, but I loved it. 5 stars. On the other side of that coin, the 1 stars.
These are my people.
Kimberly C. This was extremely painful to watch. However, we kept watching because it was like a train wreck. There's absolutely no one in this movie that can sing. They are all absolutely tone deaf, and every lyric is absolutely ignorant as hell. WTF? This has got to be a joke. I am sitting here writing this review as we are in the hour 23 mark of the movie, and per the description, musical horror, we are begging out loud for the horror part. Oh, and then God, the sledgehammering has begun. Guess the murderer was tired of their lame-ass vocals, music and lyrics as well. Do not watch. 1 star. Victoria J. Denson. Horrible movie. It plays like an advertising plug for a not-so-good band. Don't waste any money or time on this. Either, for that matter. 1 star. Brian Moyer. Don't waste your time. Anyone who rated this movie 1 star is above 1 star is probably affiliated with the movie in some way. I love horror movies, but this was a bad musical with little fake blood splashed in. Remove the music, which is awful, and it's a 15-minute teenage slasher short at best.
Yep.
That is actually pretty true. And here's a name I'm really gonna butcher from M. Carrascolio.
Oh my god.
Yep.
D'Onofrio.
Oh, all right, Aaron, you read that name on the very bottom. Carrascolio.
Carrascolio. Yeah, that's
Pretty much what I said.
yeah.
From beginning to end, I was tortured by the producer and entire cast. I don't know what was going through my mind that I decided to watch the entire thing till the end. I must have been hoping that there was hidden cameras in my living room and I was going to win a prize for punishing myself.
What?
Acting was terrible, plot was terrible, music and singing was terrible. The title of this movie should be "Don't Watch This Shit." 1 star.
That's awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Last 2 from Kristen. Thought this was going to be a horror flick, just boring acoustic guitar work over and over. Quote, fast forward, over and over, fast forward, over and over, eject. This movie was completely worthless. I would rather eat shards of broken glass than to watch 5 seconds of this movie ever again. The director and producer should be banned for life from ever making another motion picture. If you have a copy of this movie, do everyone else on the planet a favor and flush it directly down the commode. 1 star.
Who ejects a digital copy?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was like, eject.
That's old school.
But I
Eject.
appreciate it. Fast forward, eject.
Eject.
Yeah,
I appreciate
I
that.
like that. Yeah. What was the name of that?
Kristen.
Kristen.
Oh, there you go.
And lastly, from Jason, this movie is about an hour and 10 minutes of really lame band crying to each other about making it big. But don't worry, because they threw in plenty of really bad emo music. In the last few minutes, it just gets over the top, insanely violent, and kind of doesn't make sense. I guess if you like listening to some emos whine about stuff, then this might be the dig for you. 5 stars. I guess. Oh, this might. I'm sorry. If you like emos whine about stuff, then you might dig this movie 5 stars or 1 star.
I think it's a dig.
Digits.
All right,
Digits.
so there's our combat this year. Pretty. I mean, that's pretty even. It's
Pretty
50-50.
close split.
That was a big split.
Pretty close split.
Nothing in between. Loved it or hated. I'm pretty sure I know where we're going on this one, but we'll let Sarah take
Surprise.
No, I
So
don't
good.
think
It's so bad. It's good. No.
Sarah,
That
what
was-
you got this week?
That was acting right there. So bad. It's good. Yeah. Yeah, I think you guys all know.
And that's why we're going to cash in our movie as Party Girl number 3.
Hey, yeah, woo, woo. I'm a good woo girl. Woo. Yeah, this movie is terrible, guys. This was a complete waste of my life and time. I mean, I got to spend this time with you, and I really appreciate it. But that's about the only thing that
It's the
came
only
out of
redeeming
watching this.
like,
Yes,
yeah.
I agree with Jason, the last guy. I mean, you don't really get any kind of really great kills until about 60 minutes into an 85-minute movie. It's whiny. It's terrible. The songs have no redeeming quality. They don't move anything along. The acting is bad. I feel like Vincent D'Onofrio had a teenage daughter that like loves Twilight and was like, Dad, I wrote this script. Do you think that you would like want to make this into a movie? And like one night, like Vincent was like sitting in his basement and he was like, I bet I could make this into a movie.
One
What do you
bottle of
say,
wine
guys?
deep,
Yeah.
a couple smokes of a marijuana cigarette.
Marijuana cigarettes, and he's all in, like writing this shit because it's terrible. It's not. They shit the bed on so many good things that they could have used as suspenseful. The music should move that suspense along and at least be funny or campy if it's not going to actually give you the horror factor. But it did none. It did none of that. It was like a hour-long music video of the most annoying musicians you've ever seen.
So
So bad, it's scary.
You took the words right out of my mouth about it being an hour-long music video. It's just like clips of music videos of mediocre artists in the woods. I also agree that the premise had potential.
Right.
And we say that a lot about a lot of movies, honestly. I feel like a lot of these movies start off like kind of like Prohibition. The idea was right. People are getting too drunk. People are getting too out of control. Let's just ban alcohol. But it was just a bad idea. It's just bad execution. It was. It sucks so bad. I'm like running out of things to say about this movie that hasn't already been said. But I'm going to have to agree with Kristen, the reviewer, because she said she'd rather eat broken glass. I would rather have a colonoscopy. I'm in my 40s. I'm going to have to get one pretty soon.
That's not that bad, dude.
I
It's
would
not that
rather
bad.
watch Made in Manhattan
Oh, that's
than
bad.
watch this.
Okay, that's bad.
I would rather eat an entire sourdough bread bowl
Oh, that's bad.
with spin dip.
Oh, that's good.
That is good. But I'd rather eat the whole thing. I just watched 40-Year-Old Virgin, by the way. That's a good movie.
That's a really good movie.
That's a good movie you'd like to watch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a movie I'd rather watch 1 billion times more than this. I don't have anything. All my wit is gone.
Oh my God, it drained you of your wit. It's like,
Not that it was deep anyway.
are you a man? Are you a man on the verge of destruction?
I'm just ready to knock over this microphone and just walk
Flip
out of
this
here.
table. No!
I'm an iceberg, okay? I'm just cold.
Aaron's an Ice Age.
Oh, Ice Age, that's it. I even fucked that up.
Damn it.
What's dead?
What has this movie done to you?
All right.
So bad, scary.
For me, you know what?
Oh God.
I see what Vincent D'Onofrio was doing here. There's a lot of subtext here that I don't think a lot of people are going to get. The story is about this troubled musician who wants to make it big, but is being held back by his friends, and he really wants the better life for himself. And at the end of the day, he does what he has to do to make that happen. And that's a good life lesson.
Right.
And so I'm saying so bad it's good. Fuck no! This is so bad it's scary. This is a terrible, terrible fucking movie. God damn. And I was bamboozled by this because I was so disappointed in this. I saw horror musical like Vincent D'Onofrio. I'm like, oh my god, this could be probably really good, really cool. And no, this thing just disappointed me so fucking much. Like I'm mad. Like I am mad at this movie.
Yes.
It infuriates me. Yes. I would rather watch Lake Fear 3 again than watch this movie.
Wow.
Yes.
That's how bad this is. This is so disappointing. The music sucks. The acting, no, the acting wasn't that, but the music sucks. And the part that it's a musical, and it's like 80% of this movie, and it sucks. That's the problem. And the Apocalypse was like 80% musical too, but they did it great.
Yeah.
They knocked it out of the park. And this one just, even Stage Fright, the remake with fucking Meatloaf, that one did it right.
That movie was great.
The music was advanced the story. It pertained to the plot. This is just random songs that people just bust out to that have nothing to do with anything. It's way too long. There's like no horror aspects until the fucking
there's a blip
65
70 minute mark of an hour and 30-minute movie. It's just unexcusable. Like, I'm so unhappy. Like, I think Vincent D'Onofrio is trying to do something like next level. Like, I'm gonna do something like he made like, I don't know, too artsy or too like film festival-y. Like, it was something was lost between his idea and the execution and final product. This could have been so much better. Like, just basically do Friday the 13th with some music in it. Like not.
Oh, I would have liked that.
Like, basically,
Yeah,
you have
that's pretty
guys
easy to
camping
do.
in the woods, get slaughtered by a killer, and you could. Like,
He's a Philistine.
it's just not. Ugh.
Look, Aaron's got his wit back.
It's back, baby.
It's so disappointing, Nick. And don't watch this, man. Just
Don't
avoid
watch
this.
it.
Just stay away from this. It's sad. I really had high hopes for this. I thought it was gonna be so much better.
Go watch some Criminal Intent.
Yeah, this is one of my if not the biggest disappointment in a movie I've had on this show going into it.
Yeah,
I
we
had
almost
high hopes, and like
we almost quit the podcast over
they're
this.
like, I don't know if I want to do this. But the funny thing is, I wrote down, like, I predicted everybody's what they're gonna say before. Everybody's scary. Before everybody gave their answers, I had it written down. I predicted that. That's it, guys. We're done.
Yep.
Like I said, if you want to hear all the musical bits from this movie, and I'll actually play the 2 Cheer Up Emo Kids songs as well in their entirety for you can hear those whole songs. I'll play them at the end of this. Stay tuned. You can listen to all the music cues if you really want to. God bless you if you do. Jesus.
What the hell's wrong with you?
God have mercy on your
know.
souls if you do.
Curiosity killed the cat. Just remember that.
We're gonna wrap it up. So if you like the show, again, you can follow us on Instagram, all the social media stuff. If you want to support the show, you can follow us on Patreon. So donate some stuff there. Become a Patreon member. We really appreciate it if you do. We love all of our Patreon members. Thanks for listening, guys. Sarah, it was great having you back in the studio.
Oh man, I feel good.
I gotta say
good.
the best.
Yeah.
I meant to say, but the best thing about this movie is what we just did. Like I
Yeah.
had so much fun with you guys talking about this.
Me too.
Made the movie, which was complete garbage, so much more fun and bearable. So this was fun. The movie's terrible.
Took my anger away. It
Yeah,
really
it's
wiped away
cathartic.
the
Like,
deep-seated
get us
anger.
out.
It's cathartic.
Yes,
you
it
know?
was
It's-
cathartic.
yeah.
It was very therapeutic to
Yes.
be here with you guys to talk about our rage.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up. This was a long episode, and if you like I said, if the music attached is gonna be even longer. So we're gonna wrap it up here. So until next time, guys, watch more horror movies, and remember to always keep it tight.
What?
All right, guys. So if you're still sticking around, like I said, here's the music. I promise you. First up is going to be the song I just dubbed Ice Age, which we did play earlier, but I will play it again here. So here it is.
I am a man on the verge of an ice age. I am frozen, but still twitching. My blood still flows. When it flows to you.
Next up is the groupie song.
Her backstage name was the Catalan Tales. She always tortures the soul out of me. Tomorrow night's another town, another place. But I can always count on one familiar face. Kelly, don't ever change. If the record takes, will you still remember my name? I can never tell the Greenpoint twins apart. Four big eyes and one big hearted heart. They tell me they don't care about all of that. Long as I get their names right in the dark. Groupie, don't ever change. If the record takes, will you still remember my name? And years from now, another baby on the way. If you hear me on the radio someday, and you remember the lines, but the memories all fade away. Promise me one thing, just one little thing, just one little thing. You give that baby money. You give that baby money. You give that baby money. You give that baby money.
Next is Charlotte's solo.
Carlo always makes me feel so small. Stare at the phone and wait for him to call. Someday when I find Mr. Right, I'll forget about all these stupid nights. Carlo, you'll never change. I can't wait to forget your name. Sometimes I get scared of the dark, especially when I'm looking for the car I parked. The slightest little sound can make me scream. Please tell me that this is all a bad dream. Groupie, don't ever change. If we don't survive these woods, will you still remember our names?
And now we come to Robbie's song about him being blind.
I'm glad I'm blind. I don't wanna see this stupid world. It means nothing to me. Don't wanna see the suffering. I'm glad I'm blind. I don't wanna see. I'm glad I'm
now we come back to Ashley's little solo, which we played a little bit of this in the episode, but I didn't play the whole thing. So here's the whole clip.
My heart still beats. When it beats for you. You don't even know what you did when you did what you did to me. You don't know how it feels to feel what you just won't feel for me.
Next, another one of the campfire songs everybody was singing called Physical Attraction.
Speed of physical attraction, satisfaction, chemical reaction. Let's give the neighbors something to talk about. I'm running down the hall. I'm waiting for your call. I know you're all alone. This is your ringtone. Pick up your cell phone and talk to me. Alright, let's party. We'll get started. You know you feel something, 'cause I feel it too. I'm standing on the street, waiting for you. This is your ringtone. Pick up your cell phone, talk to me. I know you see me on the corner. I did not send me back your voicemail. I'll call right back again. Over and over. This is your ringtone. Pick up your cell phone and talk to me.
Next is Johnny's song.
Break my fall, tear down these walls, set fire to the hallway, all night and all day. You're my fuse to light, I'm your dynamite. Together we'll explode the night. Used to have nothing, now we've got everything to lose. We're walking a tightrope. We kill ourselves when we hope. Flashlights and sirens, get off of this island. You're my tidal wave, you're my world to save. We're our ticket out of the grave. Used to have nothing, now we've got everything to lose. When you're not here, I'm a dead man. When you're not here, I feel the walls closing. Give me the feeling that won't go away. Tell me the words I don't know how to say. What I forgot to believe in love. Yeah, we're lost in the shadows. So break my fall, tear down these walls, set fire to the hallway, all night and all day. You're my saving grace. One look at your face, straight through you into outer space. Used to have nothing, now we've got everything. Used to have nothing, now we've got everything. Used to have nothing, now we've got everything to lose. Everything to lose. Everything to lose.
followed by Anton's song.
Dad's on life support and mom's on thought control and baby sister's prematurely active and me, I'm at the bottom of a hole. And what's the problem with not even touching? Stuck inside while they're out there double dutching. I can watch anything I want to. Satellite won't give me what I need. Turn the light on, turn the light on, turn the light on. I don't like the dark. Turn the light on, shine it, it's bright as the surface of the sun. Shine it so bright that it lights up everyone. Shine it so bright that it destroys all the shadows. Destroys all the shadows. Destroys all the shadows.
This leads into the curly-haired girl song, which at the end of it, you can hear the sound effect where before she gets killed.
Anton, where are you? Anton.
Take my temperature without a thermometer. Stare through me like a mass spectrometer. Tell me what you're seeing on the monitor. Don't tell me you forgot what you got it for. What's the problem with loving and hating? That's not kissing, that's called suffocating. Lungs of smoke and a mind blurred with alcohol. Me, I'm at the bottom of a hole. Turn the light off, turn the light off, turn the light off. I don't wanna see. Turn the light off, make it as dark as a dark side of the moon. Make it as dark as the center of the earth. Make it so dark that it destroys all the shadows.
And this brings us to probably the worst song, Melinda and Frenchie's song, where they're singing about I love you and cigarettes and shit.
Would you like a cigarette? Je t'aime, je t'aime, je t'aime. I love you, I love you, I love you. Je t'aime.
Je t'aime.
Je t'aime.
Je t'aime.
Je t'aime. I love you.
I love you.
Would you like a cigarette? Écoutez, répétez.
Would you like a cigarette? Écoute, répète.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Table for one.
Table for two.
How do you say I love you?
Je t'aime, je t'aime, je t'aime. I love you, I love you, I love you. Je t'aime, je t'aime, je t'aime. La 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 la, la 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 la, I love you.
And lastly is Nick's big finale song, which we did play earlier in the episode, but I figured we'll play it again here just for completion's sake. Here it is.
Turn on the DAT. Turn the DAT on.
I don't
Turn
know
it
what
on,
I'm
push
doing.
the
I
fucking
don't know
button.
what-
Oh, what a waste of a hurricane. Take a look at this place. It's just a little wind and rain. No hailstones, no sunken homes, no wall of mud, no 1,000-year flood. Oh, what a waste
take a look at your face. Thought there'd be more than this.
Hello, can you hear me?
No voice of God, no ball of flame, and all we've got is still the same. And I can't believe that we won't be here to see the sun explode in the sky, way up high. It was worth a try. Oh, what a waste of an American dream. We're going straight up into space with plasticine. No fight, no drum, no kingdom come, no world to run, no war to be won.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
And I can't
Oh my god!
All right, so that's all the original music from the movie I actually recorded and copied. But I'm going to, just for fun, I'm going to follow up with the two different versions of the song Cheer Up Emo Kid. They're just kind of fun. First one up is by the band called Band Geek Mafia off the album Trouble on the 54. I'll follow that up with the patent pending version off their album called Save Each Other, The Whales Are Doing Fine.
Don't tell me that you ain't seen them there, playing guitar at lunch. They're whining about their dyed black hair and oh, it's just a hunch that these kids, they don't have a care. Growing up in CV, your life just ain't that bad, you know, so stop annoying me. Just cheer up, emo kid, life's not so bad. Cheer up, emo kid, why are you so sad? Cheer up, emo kid, your life is just a fad. Cheer up, emo kid, why are you so sad? I heard your girlfriend, she left you. If I were her, I would too. Gives you another reason to cry, cause she was too cool for you. But cheer up, it's not so bad. You've still got your friends. They'll write some poetry for you, for some dashboard pens. And just cheer up, emo kid, life's not so bad. Cheer up, emo kid, why are you so sad? Cheer up, emo kid, your life is just a fad. Cheer up, emo kid, why are you so sad? Just cheer up, emo kid, life's not so bad. Cheer up, emo kid, why are you so sad? Cheer up, emo kid, your life is just a fad. Cheer up, emo kid, why are you so? Cheer up, emo kid, life's not so bad. Cheer up, emo kid, why are you so sad? Cheer up, emo kid, your life is just a fad. Cheer up, emo kid, why are you so? Cheer
Cheer up, emo kid. Cheer up, emo kid. Cheer up, emo kid. Cheer up, emo kid. It'll be okay. I like to listen to my favorite band, The Cure. I ask her out, but she say no. For sure. I'm gonna climb, then I'm screaming, then I say what I don't need. I'm gonna climb, then I'm up, I'm gonna give up all my hope. Bring everybody down. Everybody with a frown. Bring everybody down. When did that come around? Cheer up, emo kid. It's a brand new day. Cheer up, emo kid. It'll be okay. Cheer up, emo kid. It's a brand new day. Cheer up, emo kid. It'll be okay. Cheer up, emo kid. It's a brand new cheer up, emo kid. It'll be okay. Cheer up, emo kid. It's a brand new cheer up, emo kid. Nobody likes me. Everybody hates me. 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 Nobody likes me. Everybody